She continues, I will temporarily take Li Yunzi's place and completely dismantle her loyal personal guard. So you do not need to worry about her loyalists taking revenge. But one man asks, how exactly do you plan to replace her? He sneers, is Li Yunzi's loyal army really going to obey a young lady of the Nam clan like you? Leon speaks up. Wait. Here is where the plot goes completely wild. My daughter Li Yunzi and Nan Lingsha are actually identical twin sisters. They do not know what Nan Lingsha looks like. Since Li Yunzi locked herself away to recover, no one knows their master has been swapped. Everyone gasps in absolute shock upon hearing this, turning their heads to stare right at her. Nam Tai Kong states, this is our clan's guarantee to everyone. Yang Shu nods, if that is the case, count me in too. Signing the scroll, he speaks everyone. Despite being a tyrant, she is still a true genius, and I respect her talent. I choose exile first, but please, do as you wish. Seeing this, the others step forward. All right, we will sign. A moment later, a golden spear slams heavily into the stone floor with a loud echo. Nam Tai Kong stands up. All right, everyone, this ink is made from dragon blood. This paper is dragon hide. And today, you are all officially allies in this execution alliance. The votes are overwhelmingly in favor of execution. No matter how the upcoming assassination turns out, we absolutely must ensure Li Yunzi never leaves the great Zulong city-state alive. Munching on some fruit, one guest chuckles. I must say, you guys are worrying way too much. Li Yunzi is currently injured, so with Zong Palace Masters striking, success is guaranteed. We just wait for good news. Leon sighs, it is not that we are too nervous, but my daughter has unbelievable luck. Last time she was thrown into the dark Yingcheng dungeon, yet she escaped, so we cannot be careless. Nan Lingsha turns and asks father, did you play a part in that Yingcheng incident? Lady Kongdong interjects her imprisonment was your father's doing, but as for what happened afterward, he knew absolutely nothing about it. Leon remains silent, looking as if he is calculating something. Nan Lingsha steps forward as she speaks. Standing directly before her, Nan Lingsha asks, so was it Lady Kongdong who humiliated her in prison? Taken aback, Lady Kongdong says nothing. Seeing this, Leon roars, insolent girl. How dare you speak to your elders in such a disrespectful manner? Walking past them, Nan Lingsha sighs, plotting with Lingxiao City, teaming with Zong Palace, La Family, and the Nam clan, all to murder one woman worth 10,000 of you. Father, do not celebrate avoiding that Yingcheng business. Nan Lingsha chuckles you, people are honestly something else. She unleashes her purple, spiritual energy, fierce bands of light whipping through the air as she declares their lives are paper thin. As the purple energy sweeps over the proclamation, the bloody red characters smear and completely vanish. Glowing red ropes bind the massive bell while purple energy explodes around them. Nan Lingsha coldly whispers, you wrote these names yourselves. Suddenly, those red cords shoot out from the giant bell, wrapping tightly around everyone's necks and hands. Panic erupts as they scream in agony, suspended high in the air by the red ropes and begging her for mercy. Damn it, what is this? They cry, we were wrong, please spare us. But she coldly turns away. Standing respectfully outside, she waits for survivors. Meanwhile, Leon screams in fury, curse you, let us go right now. Nam Tai Kong points a trembling finger at her. Nan Lingsha, what are you doing? Leon collapses, gasping. Why? Why did Nan Lingsha betray them? As she walks out, he is left wondering if their sisterly feud was just a lie all along. Now look at this. He lunges forward, desperately straining against the glowing red cords. Leon collapses onto the ground, his eyes rolling back as blood leaks from his eyes and mouth. Nan Lingsha remembers how exhausting it was to fake that sisterly rivalry. Finally, she speaks, Father, I want to overthrow Li Yunzi. Leon dies with open eyes, consumed by burning resentment. The red cords suddenly snap as a blood-red light explodes, sending dark runes swirling through the air. Duangtu kneels in absolute terror, begging for mercy. Crying in fear, he continues to beg for his life while stepping backward, his blood-stained boots trembling against the cold stone floor. Elder Pham snarls, you wicked woman. You will die a truly horrible death. Without even looking back, Nan Lingsha murmurs, crawling out alive shows decent strength. What a shame, she says, running a finger along her blade. Nan Lingsha swiftly finishes them off anyway. In the end, they still had to die. Nam Tai Kong drops to his knees. Nan Lingsha, we old fools were too stubborn. Blocking the Great Dragon City was our mistake. I swear to the ancestors I will never interfere with the clan again. I will retire and live out my days in peace. Holding a brush, she coldly replies, fine. Let me paint a beautiful coffin for you to spend your peaceful retirement in. The old man screams in sheer terror, no, I do not want to die. Meanwhile, a crescent moon hangs silently over the courtyard. Inside the La Family Imperial Court, a majestic stone bridge stands over the calm green water. A huge crowd gathers, whispering cross this bridge, and we reach Li Yunzi's room. Now that she is betrayed and defenseless, we can easily take her down. Suddenly, top experts step onto the bridge, the legendary 4 sovereigns of the sect. They are Female Hero, Ugly Bone, Old Elder, and High Forehead. High Forehead warns, "Stay alert, I still sense a dragon tamer." Zhu Minglang steps out to greet them. "Indeed, I have been waiting for you." With Bai Qi appearing right behind him, Zhu Minglang says, "My predictions say you came here to murder my wife." Du Thon sneers, "Are you not that beggar who was cozying up to the female general in the dungeon? It seems our intel had a few mistakes, but you are still just an ordinary fool." Luo Xiao glares and roars, "Zhu Minglang." Female Hero urges Du Thon, "Young master, things are changing. Do not waste time arguing with this, nobody. Let us go kill Li Yunzi first." Patting Luo Xiao's shoulder, he says, "All right, let us move." Du Thon turns back to add, "This guy is all yours. I am sure you will make him suffer a fate far worse than death, especially since he dared to look down on your goddess." Luo Xiao grins, "Do not worry, I will make him pay." And just like that, he vanishes. You can see the absolute shock on Luo Xiao's face as he asks where he went. Du Thon leads his squad straight toward Li Yunzi to settle the score. Zhu Minglang suddenly blocks them. "Bai Qi spreading its wings trying to kill my wife without my permission?" Du Thon shouts, "Elders, go handle Li Yunzi first. Let me deal with these annoying pests right here." Zhu Minglang smiles warmly, gently patting Bai Qi. "Sorry, but you are all staying right here." Right then, Bai Qi lets out a long roar as freezing light gathers around its mouth like absolute frost. Sharp ice pillars erupt instantly, locking down the courtyard. Ugly Bone curses, "Damn it, this dragon tamer's rank is incredibly high. Watch out." Du Thon sneers, "Then let us take his head as a welcome gift for Li Yunzi." In the distance, Luo Xiao screams as blood-red light wraps his wings, roaring through the dark sky like a demon. Unleashing his ultimate purgatory skill, dark flames erupt as Luo Xiao summons a massive crimson-armored beast with burning eyes and sharp fangs. Bai Qi rears back and roars. Powerful wing beats push the icy frost forward as it immediately launches massive ice spears straight into the flames. Luo Xiao grinds his teeth in frustration, thinking, "Damn it, my dragon has already evolved into a purgatory flame dragon. Its strength is second only to a dragon lord rank. How on earth is this white dragon blocking my attacks?" A massive explosion fills the entire peak courtyard with thick silver smoke. Standing at the center of the ice circle, Bai Qi spreads its wings to hold the line. Cold air spreads, but a dark red fireball condenses and fires, unleashing a massive heat wave across the battlefield. The fireball collides with the ice barrier. Blinding explosions flare up as sharp ice shards spin violently through the raging heat wave. Through the thick smoke, Luo Xiao sits tall on the black dragon. Dark red demonic wings spread from his back, completely defying the formation. And check this out, his eyes suddenly widen behind that golden mask as he senses something totally wrong. Bai Qi swings its tail, firing a freezing ice spike straight toward him. Bai Qi closes the distance, whipping its heavy tail straight into the black dragon's eye. Furious, Luo Xiao yells out, "Damn it, we have to kill this dragon first." The black dragon instantly swings its burning red claws, unleashing sharp crimson slashes that tear through the night. It launches a relentless flurry of attacks on Bai Qi. Zhu Minglang frowns in worry, shouting the dragon's name. But Luo Xiao just laughs as it slowly falls, shouting, "Go to hell." From high above, Luo Xiao dives straight down on his black dragon. Below them, Bai Qi spins inside the ice barrier, raising a shield to block the fatal strike. With a smug smile, he stands completely tall among the sharp ice spikes erupting from the ground. Suddenly, Bai Qi shoots up from the ground, unleashing a violent ice tornado across the battlefield. Countless sharp ice blades rain down like a storm of deadly arrows. Spreading its brilliant, glowing wings, Bai Qi shoots a massive ice spear upward, completely suppressing the black dragon. It spreads its wings wide, returning to Zhu Minglang, who stands waiting. Thrilled, he raises a thumbs up and praises, "Well done, Bai Qi." But suddenly, a massive pillar of fire erupts, completely swallowing the ice and snow. Surrounded by roaring flames, Bai Qi glares fiercely, preparing to strike back. Zhu Minglang grits his teeth in sheer panic, shouting the dragon's name. But Dorthon mockingly laughs, "You'd better worry about yourself first." A female warrior nearby instantly casts a glowing magic circle. Zhu Minglang whips his head around, shouting out in alarm, "This is not good." A massive whale-like lightning dragon appears in the sky. Could it be a Dragon Lord class, he wonders? Zhu Minglang pushes his limits, summoning his full strength. He summons his beast, Heya, to face the giant lightning whale. But in an instant, its own iron armor causes it to take massive damage. Panicking, Zhu Minglang screams out for Dar Heya as the beast falls flat, entirely paralyzed by the massive electric currents. Seeing his companion down, Zhu Minglang clutches his head in absolute frustration, yelling, "Damn it, I forgot dragon armor conducts electricity." Seizing his chance, Dorthon lunges forward, screaming, "Die." But Zhu Minglang quickly summons another trump card, Thon Trak, asking in shock, "Who knew you were a divine mortal too?" Thon Trak immediately locks in, firing a barrage of traps. but Dorthon skillfully dodges every single one of them, mounting Thon Trock. Zhu Minglang screams out Dar Heya, shed the armor. Meanwhile, poor Heya is still twitching from the shock, completely numb. Once the metal is off, it is like a whole new world. Heya springs right back up, totally pumped that it is completely fine. But wait, look at the ashes. A mystical glow suddenly radiates as Bai Qi arrives right in the nick of time to save everyone. Zhu Minglang gasps in relief, thank goodness, everyone is safe. But before they can even celebrate, a sudden, violent tremor shakes the earth. Luo Xiao makes an incredibly flashy entrance, riding his beast right to the front, yelling, "Young master, do not interfere. Let me kill this brat myself." He unleashes his purgatory flame dragon, but Bai Qi refuses to back down, roaring in defiance. Luo Xiao sneers in absolute contempt, just a dumb beast. Do you seriously think you are actually that strong? He commands his beast, Lu Kim, to breathe fire, screaming, "Behold the true power of my purgatory flame dragon." Blinding light erupts from Bai Qi's horn. It spins violently to summon a massive tornado, amplifying the phantom storm to its peak. Watching the spectacle, Zhu Minglang remembers this is the legendary phantom storm under its command. He gasps, this is utterly insane power. Bai Qi looks up as if calling for reinforcements, and tens of thousands of glowing crystals rain down. Terrified by the sight, Luo Xiao screams out no. Having lost an eye, Lu Kim whimpers in pain. Nearby, Dorthon grits his teeth in pure rage. Damn it, how is this dragon so insanely strong, he grumbles. Meanwhile, the crystals rain down, instantly freezing the ground upon impact. The crystal ice completely seals everything below. Luo Xiao desperately urges Lu Kim forward, even though his dragon is battered and broken. No. Get up, Purgatory Flame Dragon. Stand up, we have to keep fighting. Even while spitting up blood, he refuses to accept reality. Clinging to his final breaths, Luo Xiao groans, damn it, why you? Zhu Minglang stands calmly before him, smiling well. If it isn't big brother Luo Xiao. Leaning casually on Thon Trock, he smirks, sorry, I didn't recognize you earlier. Crushing a fragment in his fist, Luo Xiao wheezes, no, I can't die here. Staring at Zhu Minglang, his mind fills with pure hatred. I won't accept this. Luo Xiao grits his teeth, his eyes wide as he mutters, Li Yunzi, you belong to me. But a brutal kick from Thon Trock shuts him up permanently. Standing behind him, Zhu Minglang radiates pure killing intent. How dare you target my wife? With that, Luo Xiao's head explodes into absolute pieces. Nearby, Dorthon mutters in pure rage, damn it, how dare you injure this young master? He waves his hand and barks an order, go kill that beast. The enemy crowd bunches up, and everyone starts summoning their monstrous pets. 4 terrifying beasts materialize just to corner Bai Qi. They have the Loikon Thunglong, Umlong, Thiba Long, and a 2-headed Dirklong. Taking advantage of the chaos, Dorthon flies up to ambush Zhu Minglang, shouting, as for the head of a trash like you, I will take it. Suddenly, a heavy fist cracks right into Dorthon's face. Hoa Thuk has arrived just in time to help, calling them out for their usual shamelessness. Kotzo is shocked by the raw power as the female warrior spits curses. Damn it, has he not been missing for years? She yells. Cao Ngach looks pretty worried, remembering rumors that this newcomer is a dragon slayer. Who knows if it is true, the elder snorts, trying to calm them regardless. Today he definitely dies right here. Hoa Thuk just waves casually, saying, little brother, we meet again. Zhu Minglang gasps, recognizing him, it is you. The young man realizes with a shock, is this not just that humble farmer uncle who helped Xiao Ying enroll? Suddenly, Hoa Thuk's eyes spark. The uncle grins, little brother, I actually know a thing or two about dragon slaying. Zhu Minglang nods, then that young master is all yours. Nearby, Bai Qi is going all out against Thiba. Seeing this, Hoa Thuk charges right in to help, shouting, let us break them together. Touched by this, Zhu Minglang realizes he has a lot to learn. This guy acts humble but packs a deadly punch. I am still pretty green. Protect him, the woman screams. Suddenly, Loi Kone strikes. Massive lightning bolts leave them completely trapped. Oh no. Zhu Minglang realizes with dread as Heya starts struggling too. Watching his beast fall, he screams out, hang in there. Heya! Thiba locks onto the weaker target to strike. Hoa Thuk yells a quick warning, little brother, those 2 beasts are heading straight for you. The beast spews a stream of green venom right at them. Luckily, Thon Trock raises a dense shield of vines, blocking the poison entirely. Staring down Thiba, Zhu Minglang does not even flinch, only muttering, damn. Who in their right mind raises a dragon this disgusting? And just like that, Bai Qi steps in to end this foolishness. To his and Thon Trock's utter shock, a glowing crystal pierces straight through Thiba, killing it instantly. The backlash makes Cao Ngach cough up blood. The elder panics, screaming out for his comrade. Hoa Thuk urges the kid to hang in there, though he is clearly struggling quite a bit himself. Damn it, this Loi Kon Thung Long is already a Dragon Lord tier, and Long is almost there too. Suddenly, a hand reaches out from behind to ambush him. Dorthon tries to grab Zhu Minglang, but the young man senses it instantly. Before the villain can even touch him, Bai Qi sweeps in. Bai Qi slams its tail down, sending a massive shockwave outward. Zhu Minglang seizes the opening to finish his target. Thanks to their soul connection, he can use Bai Qi's Huyan Lin Vor storm armor. Dorthon takes a heavy hit, completely powerless to stop it. The female warrior realizes too late, damn it, we forgot he shares a direct soul connection with his beast. That means its gear can manifest as armor on the master. The elder rushes forward in a panic, yelling to save the young master. A bolt of lightning flashes past, and before they can even react, the blinding light of a sharp crystal appears right in front of them. Bai Qi drives the crystal straight through Dorthon's chest. The female warrior panics and screams for her young master, while Kot Zo prepares to fight to the death. The two-headed Dirk Long attacks, spitting fire from one head and poison from the other. Zhu Minglang just scoffs. You guys really care about him that much? You and I both know what happens next. He charges to send them straight to hell as the crystal erupts. Fall back, they scream. But Zhu Minglang moves in on the female warrior first, tearing her to shreds before she can even comprehend what is happening. Her brutal defeat triggers the beasts into a blind rage, leaving Hoa Thuk pretty impressed. Who knew these monsters would defend their master so fiercely, he mutters. Suddenly, Loi Kon's deadly lightning strikes right behind Hoa Thuk's back. Caught off guard, he is completely engulfed in a blinding electrical surge. As Loi Kon smugly dives for the kill, Zhu Minglang calmly commands his beasts to strike. There is no way Bai Qi is letting this monster get away with that. It sweeps in, firing a sharp crystal right into Loi Kon's eye. Meanwhile, Thon Trak takes charge of the two-headed Dirk Long, swiftly severing its fire-breathing head as the beast shrieks in absolute agony, absolute panic. Their faces turn completely pale. Wait, Zhu Minglang stops his beasts, saying, let us give them a quick ending. You guys can go now. The elder hastily recalls Loi Kon to escape, and Kot Zo agrees. But suddenly, a dark force grabs Zhu Minglang. It is Long. It turns out the villains are desperately trying to use it as a getaway ride. Do not run, he shouts. Right then, Li Yunzi appears with eyes full of rage. She draws her sword, unleashing an epic slash that blows Long to pieces. The elder screams in absolute despair, my precious Long. The explosion is so violent, it leaves the villains wounded. Hoa Thuk can only watch in awe to think she is this incredibly strong even while injured. Meanwhile, our lovesick Zhu Minglang gets a bit smug. Well, I had it under control, but it is pretty clear she is super worried about me. Hoa Thuk just rolls his eyes. Nearby, the Dirk Long staggers, struggling to stand with only one head left. Thon Trak looks absolutely thrilled, knowing its prey is finished. Its vines tighten like a vice, leaving the remaining head completely trapped. The final head is completely severed, painting the sky in a bloody red that signals the end of this battle. Meanwhile, Bai Qi is still playing around with the lightning beast. He quickly yells out, stop playing around, Bai Qi, and finish it off. Hearing this, Bai Qi turns back with a surprisingly graceful smile. Unleashing its razor-sharp tail, it delivers a massive, wave-like strike that instantly ends the lightning beast, sending the creature crashing into the dirt in a massive explosion. Uncle Hoa clicks his tongue. What a shame I am not a dragon master. All these spoils end up in your hands, kid, and you seem pretty skilled at refining jade from souls. Zhu Minglang just smiles casually. It is decent. This is my specialty. He is thrilled, especially since Hak Na has been passed out cold this entire time. This particular soul bead might only give Great Hak Na a minor boost, but the moment it hears about food, the beast bolts right up, drooling with glowing eyes, begging to eat. Zhu Minglang instantly sees right through it. Damn it, this lazy dragon wakes up the second it hears about getting a treat. Uncle Hoa picks Du Than up like a toy, noticing the kid is wearing the dual shadow armor. Our main character is totally mesmerized. No wonder the guy's movement technique was so ghostly. It was all because of this gear. Uncle Hoa sighs like dragon, like master. Zhu Minglang is incredibly grateful, praising the uncle as a true hidden master whose help saved their lives. Uncle Hoa quickly waves it off. Enough flattery. All this loot is yours anyway. Since you made the kill, it has nothing to do with me. He stays humble, saying he only fought to repay a debt to the female commander. And now he is off to enjoy his freedom. We cut to Li Yunzi's room a few days later, where Zhu Minglang stands behind her, pointing out that she seems quite weighed down by heavy thoughts lately. He continues, pointing out that she is already injured, and yet she still forced out that sword projection. It was reckless when they could have handled it. Zhu Minglang looks at her with deep worry. What is on her mind? Li Yunzi admits her doubts. She is wondering how a simple silkworm farmer from Vu Tho could have crossed paths with her. How did he become such a powerful dragon master in almost no time? What is his true identity behind all of this? Zhu Minglang tries to soothe her, telling her she is overthinking, before clearing his throat and admitting he used to be a Shenfan master. But then, he lost his powers and fled to Vu Tho. Back then, Vu Tho was surrounded by a void sea, like a lonely island, slowly rising until it finally connected to Tu Long City in the Donghuk Mountains. Li Yunzi asks bluntly what is his real motive for approaching her. Zhu Minglang frantically explains that heaven and earth can witness their meeting was pure coincidence, and his feelings are completely real. Suddenly, the voice of Tin Hoa whispers to her sister, "Don't be so harsh on him, sister, because he might be the one to solve our biggest worry." Li Yunzi explains she is just making sure he does not have ulterior motives. Hearing this, the sister suggests letting her handle it. Right after that, the two girls swap souls. Tin Hoa suddenly smiles as her eyes turn gold, asking in a soft voice, "If the young master is sincere, why not tell me where you come from?" Tin Hoa continues, recalling how the east of Tulong City used to be a sea until Vu Tho suddenly appeared. "It feels like this world is way more mysterious than we think, right?" Zhu Minglang agrees, but internally, he is totally sweating. What is going on? Why does she feel like a completely different person? Tin Hoa suddenly grabs his hand, asking if he will go with her for a walk outside. Zhu Minglang turns red, completely flustered, as he stammers out a response. Of course he can. Tin Hoa smiles and tells him to wait a moment. Suddenly, she leans over and lets her outer robe slide right off, exposing her slender shoulder as the gorgeous curves of her body start showing through. She strikes a teasing pose towards the wardrobe, whispering to herself about what she should wear. As she changes behind a thin folding screen, her shadow glows softly, forcing poor Zhu Minglang to clench his fists, just to control himself. He gets a massive nosebleed from the view, shaking his fist and cursing that stupid screen. They head out to the Luke Hoa Pavilion in Tulong City, sitting by a tea table while two maids spy on them from the shadows. Niam keeps whispering for them to hurry up and hug, while Swang Ni pretends to be totally indifferent, asking if she has lost her mind in broad daylight. Niam barks back daytime is fine, but outdoors is not. But look, she suddenly screams in absolute shock. Oh my god, the sky is literally falling as a massive continent drops down, sending the citizens into a state of pure panic. The entire western region gets swallowed by pure darkness as the land masses collide, forcing Zhu Minglang to quickly pull Tin Hoa to safety. He explains that while Tulong City remains bright, Longtu City and the other western strongholds have plunged into permanent darkness. She softly asks if Vu Tho appeared like this, and Zhu Minglang nods. Tin Hoa stares into the distance, admitting she thought it would float like Vu Tho, not fall from the sky, falling like a star from the heavens. Confused, he asks what she actually means by that. Did she already know this day was coming? Was this the real reason behind her sadness? Zhu Minglang gently pulls Tin Hoa close so she can rest on his shoulder, promising that no matter what happens, he will always stand by her side. She silently sends a signal to Li Yunzi, telling her the day has finally come. Li Yunzi regains control of her body and simply replies, "I know." Turning to him, she says thanks for the tea, but I have to go now. Zhu Minglang agrees, but insists her wounds are not healed yet, so he is coming along. Li Yunzi gently refuses, telling him she must head to the western border first. She needs to block the incoming threat while he stays to help Nanlingsha stabilize things. Zhu Minglang wraps his arms around her from behind, telling Li Yunzi to be safe and promising to protect their home. Li Yunzi closes her eyes and smiles, feeling comforted. She steps onto her flying sword, ready to soar off. She reassures him to stay calm. Left behind, Zhu Minglang silently asks for her forgiveness. He never told her he came from the Kukdin continent as a legendary sword cultivator. Flashback time. During his past travels, he clashed with a mysterious king-class powerhouse who devoured the spirit veins of the elves. That horrific devouring power contaminated the white hidden dragon, causing nearby nature to completely wither away. Refusing to let this beast destroy everything, he fought back. During that clash, he severed the earth veins, completely splitting the spirit island from the Vu Tho lands. His sword cultivation shattered, throwing him into a void vortex that dragged him to her world. Back then, Zhu Minglang saved Bai Qi, who was also critically injured from that devastating battle. He became a dragon master just to save it. Looking out at the collapsing landmass, he never expected his old home, the Kukdin continent, to crash into this world. Here we go. Zhu Minglang warns that no matter what they plan, they better not make his wife sad, or he will grind them to absolute dust. A fierce fire burns in his eyes, dripping with pure determination. He recalls rumors that the ruins near the crash site in Langtu City are known as the West Street. Sadly, that area has been chaotic lately. Bai Qi notes that otherwise, they could have gathered plenty of spirit shard crystals there. He sighs in relief. Glad Li Yunzi already gathered some for him. With these crystals, there is enough food for 2 months, which should elevate Bai Qi to a stable, high-level Dragon Lord rank. The little dragon squeals happily as it gets fed. Zhu Minglang is slightly worried. Sure, the dragon's mystic powers come from Tin Nguyet, and normal flower nectar does nothing for its growth. But devouring rare crystals like cheap candy is a luxury normal people could never afford. He warns it to never start craving moon or sun crystals. Just then, a panicked voice suddenly cuts through the air, calling out his name, Zhu Minglang. Startled, he looks up and asks why Nam Ninsa is here. She urgently tells him to follow her to the Lei family Imperial Academy. Though completely confused, Zhu Minglang silently agrees. Together, they rush straight over to the Grand Council Hall of the Lei family Imperial Academy. The room is packed with people waiting for orders. Spotting an elderly woman sitting in the center seat, Zhu Minglang quietly asks Nan Lingsha who she is. She explains that the matriarch stays out of worldly affairs, but since La'an was crippled, she had no choice but to step up and take charge. Suddenly, someone else in the room catches his eye. Zhu Minglang is relieved to see Don Lam there, looking healthy and completely recovered. The matriarch speaks up, announcing that Li Yunzi has already gone to guard the border. Aside from her, every Lord-level expert in Ancestral Dragon City is gathered here to hear a dark update. The matriarch's face turns grim as she speaks. Just yesterday, 100 Dragon Masters and nearly 100 elite sect members were completely wiped out. Their entire sect palace is gone. To make matters worse, 6 branch cities of Longtu City were brutally slaughtered. Hoathuk gasps, asking if the mysterious invaders did this. The matriarch confirms it. Hoathuk presses on, demanding to know what faction they belong to and how many high-level experts they possess. Thuong Thon chimes in, explaining that one of the killers is a dragon tamer controlling a massive purple dragon. Hearing this, a council member panics. He asks Dean Doan if this is really true, pointing out that the fallen sect had powerful guardians. Even their sect master was a monarch-level powerhouse, yet a single enemy wiped them out. The crowd erupts, calling it an absolute exaggeration. If any random invader is really this strong, then they stand absolutely zero chance of winning. Watching the panic spread, Zhu Minglang suddenly realizes who that old speaker is. He is Dean Doan Thuong Thon from the Dragon Training Academy. Could Don Lam actually be his daughter? But seeing zero interaction between them, his thoughts are cut short by a booming, arrogant voice outside asking who runs this city. The demanding question echoes again, drawing everyone's attention as they look up in sheer surprise. Nan Lingsha immediately draws her weapon, fully on guard. She tells the group to go outside and investigate. Oh, you've got to be kidding me. A massive dragon carrying the Min and Tuyetangan lands, making Zhu Minglang curse silently at this terrible coincidence. Nan Lingsha steps forward, declaring she is the ruler of this city and demanding to know what they want with her territory. The Min asks coldly if they are a cultivation sect. She clarifies that they are just a city-state clan. The Min sneers in disgust, telling them to know their place if they are not a real sect. Nan Lingsha wonders if these monsters are actually hunting down sects. The Min sneers, calling them a disorganized bunch of weaklings living in a resource-poor city. Even his massive purple dragon looks down in disgust, scoffing that this land is far more pathetic than they imagined. Bowing respectfully, Shiming says, "Your Eminence, we can head back now." But then, Zhu Xuan notices a familiar face and calls out, "Wait a minute." Shiming urges her, saying, "Your Eminence, this is the most prosperous city-state, no need to visit others." But Zhu Xuan ignores him, calling out loudly, "Zhu Minglang." He stays silent for a long moment before finally stepping forward to reply. Bowing deeply, Zhu Minglang greets her, "I am here, Aunt Xuan." Zhu Xuan frowns at him, asking if you are still alive. "Why did you not return to report your safety?" Zhu Minglang looks up with a pleading expression, explaining, "I wanted to, but I genuinely could not find my way back before this. Aunt Xuan, can you please put an end to this war for my sake? I heard that 6 cities have already been destroyed, and they are just filled with innocent civilians. So why be this cruel?" She responds coldly, "This war has nothing to do with you, and if you want to interfere, go speak to the sovereign." Frowning with annoyance, she looks at him, saying, "But I heard rumors that you lost your divine sword, Soul, and jumped off a cliff to end it all, because you could not bear the loss. But it seems that rumor was only half true." Zhu Minglang shakes his head, saying, "I am a dragon tamer now." "A dragon tamer?" Zhu Xuan asks, sounding completely baffled. Looking at Shiming standing beside her, Zhu Minglang realizes from his sour expression that her eminence really despises dragon tamers. Suddenly, she shifts the topic, choosing to ignore the whole dragon tamer business for now. "Is that woman beside you your wife?" she asks. "And do you two have children yet?" Both Nan Lingsha and Zhu Minglang blush, and he quickly explains, "No, she is actually my fiancé's younger sister, Nan Lingsha." As Zhu Xuan prepares to leave, she turns back to give him some advice. "Go home and let everyone know you are alive. Then have that girl bear you a child. If the child can inherit a divine sword soul from either of you, it might make up for some of our clan's deep regrets." Zhu Minglang's face darkens as he thinks, "Does she really have to be that disappointed in me? I feel like my cultivation journey still has a chance. Although I let down your years of dedicated training, Aunt, I am actually doing quite well as a dragon tamer now." Meanwhile, Nan Lingsha blushes deeply, her eyes widening as she mutters, "Bear a child?" Walking away, Zhu Xuan calls back over her shoulder, "Since you ask so sincerely, then I can guarantee we will not raid the sects or slaughter people indiscriminately, but the disputes over the city-state territories can only be left to fate. Grinning, Shiming speaks up, so you are a dragon tamer? There are not many dragon tamers in the Zhu clan, so if we get a chance, let's see how our skills clash. Scratching his head, Zhu Minglang cheerfully agrees. As Shiming and Zhu Xuan soar away, he stands below, waving his hand and yelling out farewell. Aunt. Up in the sky, Shiming suddenly realizes something, thinking, wait a second, Her Eminence called him Zhu Minglang earlier. He turns to ask her directly, Your Eminence, is that Zhu Minglang actually the same legendary 15-year-old sword genius who swept the continent back then? Zhu Xuan casually asks him in return, why would a dragon tamer like you even know about his name? Stunned, he thinks to himself that Her Eminence really does despise dragon tamers. But he quickly replies, I have heard of him, he replies. She glances over, asking, are you scared? Flexing his arm, Shiming stubbornly says, how is that possible? His divine sword soul is gone, so when it comes to training dragons, I have absolutely nothing to fear. But recalling the cheerful smile on Zhu Minglang's face just now, he breaks into a cold sweat, swearing silently, damn it, why did that look feel so terrifying? You can practically feel her anger as she approaches with her arms crossed, demanding some real answers. Are you not going to explain anything? Hearing this, he awkwardly replies, well, I actually come from the Jiting continent, and that strict lady is my aunt. She seems cold but is actually nice. Dean Changqing also walks over, asking Zhu Minglang, are you actually a member of the Zhu clan specializing in casting? He glances at him and replies that is correct. I accidentally fell into the Void Sea whirlpool, and when I woke up, I was already here. Could it be that you also, Dean? He answers in a low voice. That is correct, the Dean replies. Thinking of a map, he sighs deeply and speaks in a low voice. The appearance of the Wu Earth continent helped me understand some laws of this vast world. For all these years, I have searched for the secrets of the void whirlpool everywhere, from high mountains to misty islands, never expecting that the entire Jiting continent would fall right out of the sky. Hearing this, Zhu Minglang realizes he has only been here a few years, while the Dean has been trapped in this place for decades. Feeling bad for the old man, he decides to try and offer some comfort. Scratching his head, he grins and speaks up, Dean, do not be sad. Isn't there a way home now? Plus, your daughter is already fully grown up. That awkward attempt at comforting the Dean completely leaves the poor old man speechless. Right then, an elderly lady approaches from behind, suggesting they catch up later, and instead explain the Jiting continent first. Dean Changqing nods and agrees all right. The explanation begins as he speaks. The Jiting continent is ruled by one imperial court alongside numerous city-states. The power gaps between these states are massive, leading to constant conflicts. Yet everyone must still obey the laws established by the imperial court. In addition, the continent is home to other major factions, including various sects, powerful clans, dragon palaces, the church, and elite academies. But they can't just interfere in the wars of other nations. Down below, someone suddenly stands up and raises a hand to ask, what about the sects, the clans, the dragon palace, and the church? Does that mean the Great Court continent still has 4 other massive factions that can rival the principal's own dragon training academy? Hearing this, Thuongthan strokes his beard, thinking deeply. The main campuses of both the sacred Shenfan and dragon training academies are located right inside the Great Court Imperial Dynasty. Our Li Chuan Dragon Training Academy is barely a fraction of what small nations have. In the eyes of the Great Court, we are basically just dirt on the ground, a backward, low-class outer territory. Any nation that decides to march their army over here could completely flatten us in days. Shaken by the grim news, the old matriarch asks in fear, Principal Doan, if we just surrender, will they show us some mercy? He instantly cuts her off, absolutely not. Do not even think about it, because many nations in the Great Court still run on slavery. Usually, when unclaimed lands get conquered, every single survivor is forced into slavery for 10 years. Only after that decade can they slowly work their way up to being low-class commoners. Zhu Minglang frowns, pointing out that slaves have zero legal protection from any nation or power. Absolutely nobody cares whether they live or die in those camps. The terrifying reality hits the old matriarch like a bolt of lightning, making her stammer. What do we do now? She panics, as Thuongthan gives a grim response. War is absolutely inevitable. Li Yunzi already gathered the armies of the 4 great city-states at the Long Gorge defense line. As long as the major factions stay out of it, we still have a fighting chance against their armies. This only makes the old woman more anxious as she speaks. Li Yunzi always wanted to found a nation. Did she already know the Great Court was coming for us? The crowd mutters in panic, realizing they completely misjudged Li Yunzi and her true intentions. But even if she founds a nation, the Great Court will still view us as an unclaimed territory, with 0 imperial laws to protect us, meaning those powerhouses will still strike. Right then, everyone turns their eyes to Zhu Minglang as he suddenly steps up to speak. But wait, Zhu Minglang actually has a clever card to play to stop those factions from attacking them. The matriarch eagerly asks how. and Zhu Minglang calmly explains that his Zhu sect is luckily one of the 6 major clans on the Great Court. I can represent the Zhu sect to swear an oath to the dynasty, declaring that Tulong city-state belongs to us. We will pay annual taxes, so this land is no longer considered unclaimed, forcing other factions to back off by law. Hearing this, her attitude completely flips as she points at Nan Lingsha and says Li Yunzi is not around right now, so we must have Nan Lingsha marry you immediately. We will declare Tulong belongs to the Zhu sect, and since she already holds the official city seal, it is a perfect match. Zhu Minglang breaks into a sweat, wondering if they can really just swap brides so easily. He quickly raises his hands to stop her. Hold on, matriarch, let me finish first. Hearing this, she immediately turns and snaps at the crowd behind her. Fine, you speak, she yells. Nobody else say a word. A guy standing behind them sighs helplessly, knowing she is the only one talking. Zhu Minglang gets serious. A massive decision like this is not something I can just decide on my own right now. I have to go back to my clan and negotiate. After all, keeping those hostile factions away requires the backing of our sect's full authority. Hearing this, Thuong Thon looks over at him and nods. He offers to personally travel to the Great Court continent to secure some external support, hoping his old connections at the Great Court Dragon Training Academy still remember his name. The old matriarch finally calms down, telling them she is counting on their help. But Thuong Thon glances at Zhu Minglang with a warning look. Even if we get the backing of the Zhu sect, or the academy, declaring our loyalty only means other powers must compete for us openly. If the Zhu sect loses that bid, some other hostile force will just swoop in and take over. Concern washes over his face, and the matriarch breaks into a cold sweat. If your journey takes several days, what happens to us in the meantime? By then, those powerful invaders might have already slaughtered every last one of Tulong's top masters. Zhu Minglang looks at her, trying his best to reassure her. My aunt is currently the keeper of order in this region, so she will keep the peace. But she cannot interfere when it comes to actual invasions by national armies. Right now, our only hope is for Li Yunzi to lead her forces and hold the line through this chaotic transition. Zhu Minglang turns his gaze back toward Nan Lingsha and speaks up. As long as the imperial court recognizes us, even if our army eventually falls, the people of Tulong will never be forced into slavery. She steps forward with absolute calm. Do not worry. My older sister only failed once at Yang City, and she will never lose again. This leaves him highly curious. Nan Lingsha, I am really curious, he asks. Li Yunzi seemed completely prepared for the Great Court Continent's descent. How did she find out so early? Nan Lingsha explains that a girl named Xinghua, a mortal stargazer, can foresee the future. She predicted the general timing of the descent, but all the strategic details were deduced entirely by Li Yunzi herself. Unable to believe his own ears, Zhu Minglang speaks up. Prophet, I have seen countless god-mortal candidates, but never one so incredibly vague. Hearing this, Nan Lingsha mocks him. It is just because you are shallow, like a frog at the bottom of a well. Zhu Minglang can only reply helplessly. If there is ever a chance, I must absolutely meet this mysterious Lady Tin Hoa. Nan Lingsha gives a cold smile and glances at him. You have already met her. On the boat, Zhu Minglang's voice echoes back. Wait, who is it? Dropping the subject, he decides to take her to a new place, a lush, green forest known as the Sacred Grove of the Nam family. As they enter the deep woods together, a Nam clan disciple complains the wood spirit altar barely managed to gather those precious 10-year sacred bones. They were meant to raise our new sacred wood dragon, or baptize the very best dragon shepherd within our clan. Annoyed face. But he ignores the elder beside him completely. The disciple glances back at Zhu Minglang and mutters, how can we just hand this over to some complete outsider, especially one with such a scandalous reputation? Zhu Minglang just stares at him, thinking he is way too noisy, when suddenly a hand slaps down. The elder beside the idiot cannot take it anymore, delivers a brutal blow, and roars, you absolute fool. Shut up! The painful blow makes him scream, face contorted. The elder glances anxiously at Zhu Minglang, sweating bullets. This kid holds the fate of our entire dragon city in his hands. How dare you insult him? Completely ignoring his son who is still clutching his bruised face, the elder repeatedly bows low. I failed to raise him right. I beg young Master Zhu Minglang not to hold it against my foolish son. The beaten disciple turns, tears welling up. Father? Another sharp crack. He gets smacked yet again while the elder internally screams with absolute, burning rage. Shut up or you will get me killed, you absolute disgrace of a son. With both cheeks swollen like balloons, the idiot lies motionless on the ground. Nan Lingsha glances down, stepping forward to agree that he indeed needs proper discipline. The elder bows deeply, promising to strictly educate his worthless son from now on. Drama over. They head deeper into the silent forest. Suddenly, they stop. A massive ancient tree stands ahead of them. Get ready because it actually opens its giant eyes. The elder steps forward, placing shiny gems on a stone table to address the sacred guardian. We have come for the sacred bones, and brought these tributes. Standing nearby, Zhu Minglang is stunned. He never expected a legendary wood spirit holy dragon to actually exist here, boasting a power far beyond his own companion. Those green gems suddenly begin to shift, radiating a strange, eerie glow as creeping vines wrap tightly around them. The ancient tree lets out a low groan, and the thick vines instantly lift the glowing gems into the air. The gems are then dropped directly into the bamboo tubes resting on the table. The elder picks up the bamboo tubes and presents them. Young Master, Zhu Minglang, here are 10 portions of 10-year sacred bones. Nan Lingsha speaks up coldly. Great Guardian, the 100-year sacred bones have finished maturing, right? Hand those over to Zhu Minglang as well. The elder stammers in panic, but the 100-year sacred bones are the very foundation of our clan. Nan Lingsha just stares at him with eyes cold as daggers. Sweating under her gaze, he forces a nervous smile and slowly pulls out a small green jade bottle. Only a rare treasure like this is truly worthy of young Master Zhu Minglang. The young man sweats, watching this unfold. Nam Chuabang's father is seriously a master of sucking up. Meanwhile, Nan Lingsha calmly explains that each 10-year portion can sustain the holy azure wood dragon for 10 full days. Her voice makes the air grow cold. As for the 100-year sacred bones, they are best used when the dragon reaches adulthood. It will trigger an immediate evolution while awakening a portion of its true, legendary holy dragon power. Deep gaze. Zhu Minglang nods. All right, I will remember. The elder's face pales, crying inside. Even a single 10-year portion is our ultimate clan treasure, and now we are basically handing them over for his dragon to drink like tap water. He grits his teeth, his face contorting as he forces himself to make a split-second decision. Whatever, since he cannot stop this, he might as well buy Zhu Minglang's goodwill. They might actually need to rely on this potential son-in-law down the road. He looks up, forcing his voice to sound calm. Young Master Zhu Minglang, your other dragons can also use some, though not too much. Only the bloodline of a holy azure wood dragon is built to absorb these multiple times. Wait, what? A huge grin spreads across Zhu Minglang's face. The other dragons can use it too? That is perfect. Exactly. Our sacred bones are far more miraculous than you think. They do not clash with soul pearls or spirit fruits at all, meaning you can stack other power-ups on your dragons while they absorb the bones. Greed flashes in Zhu Minglang's eyes. What an incredible treasure. If I knew this earlier, I would have demanded a few more bottles. The elder frantically waves his hands in a total panic. Young Master Zhu Minglang, these are our foundation. It took us decades to hoard this much. Please do not rob us clean. Awkward laugh. Zhu Minglang tightly clutches the bones. I was just joking. What you gave me is already more than enough. Excitement swells deep within him. With this sacred bone, Xiao Qing's woe is sure to reach the high-tier Dragon Lord realm. Raising a dragon really isn't as tough as he once thought. Nan Lingsha cuts in coldly, her sharp gaze snapping him back to reality, as she tells him to stop gloating, pack up, and prepare to leave. Zhu Minglang sighs, nodding. Cut to the West Valley corridor, where the air hangs thick with ash. Searing heat and thick smoke billow from the molten lava, churning deep inside the jagged crevices. Outside, scorching desert sun beats down mercilessly on the burning red rocks. Nan Lingsha eyes Zhu Minglang in his neat new robes and tells him he actually looks decent for once. A smug smile plays on his lips, his eyes gleaming with pride. He takes that as a compliment. Nearby, the Lixuan Dragon Taming Academy's deputy director looks incredibly tense. It seems many adventurers from their continent try crossing the corridor to reach Jiting, but they brutally slaughter the guards protecting the pass. Lixuan Dragon Academy's deputy director. Suddenly, a razor-sharp voice cuts through the hazy air. Are you all heading to the Jiting continent too? A massive earth serpent dragon looms from the fog, its vicious eyes locking onto them as it roars alongside its rider. Turn back, or die like the rest. Chongqing steps forward calmly, his voice incredibly steady. Zhu Minglang, do you have any proof of your Jiting identity, like a family crest or sect token? He replies flatly, I don't. Do you have one, Director? Chongqing frowns, shaking his head. He doesn't either. But then, a golden summoning circle suddenly manifests over his palm, its intricate runes spinning with intense, ancient power. He wonders aloud if this counts. Instantly, blinding gold light floods the area with suffocating pressure. The Myriad Ray Supreme Dragon. Zhu Minglang gasps inwardly, that is a legendary Dragon Lord. Chongqing stands tall, proudly asking if this dragon is enough to pass. The guard's face instantly turns pale, cold sweat dripping down his neck. He stammers out a frantic apology, begging for mercy since he mistook them for ordinary travelers. He forces a nervous smile. Since dragon tamers are highly respected everywhere, he quickly bows and gestures for them to pass without any further trouble. Chongqing calls for them to move out. Zhu Minglang silently follows, his thoughts drifting. Honestly, it is a brutal reminder absolute strength is the only real path to survival in this wild world. Fang Nianian groans, complaining about how exhausted she is from the long journey. Suddenly, she freezes, staring ahead in sheer disbelief. Is this really the Jiting continent? She expects floating cities and golden palaces, but this place looks no different from her old hometown. She thinks everyone rides the wind like legendary immortals. Instead, these rundown buildings actually look worse than the ancestral Dragon City. Chongqing clasps his hands, bidding farewell to Zhu Minglang as they split up to go to their respective destinations. Zhu Minglang bows back, wishing the director luck in securing the Jiting Dragon Academy's support. A dark wooden plaque hangs crookedly on an ancient stone pillar, its faint inscriptions buried under layers of dust. To reach the royal capital faster, their only choice is taking a dangerous shortcut straight through this notorious city of crime. With so many dead merchants around, he might find some dragon blood for ink. Fang Nianian suddenly points ahead, her eyes lighting up as she tells Zhu Minglang she finds crystal shards to feed Xiao Baikai. Staring completely mesmerized at the sparkling crystal, she asks the merchant how much it costs. The sketchy vendor sneers, a greedy glint flashing in his eyes as he demands a ridiculous price. Fang Nianian hesitates but pleads with him, explaining they need to buy in bulk. She asks for a discount, but the man just licks his lips with a vile, creepy grin. Spend a few nights with his gang, he sneers, and she can have them all for free. The other thugs join in, leering at Nan Lingsha. They make gross comments about her stunning figure and her long, beautiful legs. Now watch this. Those creeps instantly freeze as two blood-red ropes suddenly whip toward them out of nowhere. Bound tight and hoisted high, they thrash wildly in the air, screaming in absolute panic. "Let us down," they cry. Their eyes bulge with terror as they beg for life. With a simple flick of Fang Nianian's finger, the two crash hard onto the dirt, coughing up blood as a shiny crystal rolls near them. She smiles coldly, happily taking the crystals and ordering Baikai to sweep every last shard up with his magic. The thug shivers violently upon hearing this, bowing meekly with clenched fists as he dares to whisper. She finally smiles and turns to leave, telling her sister that they are selling dragon blood ahead and she wants to check it out first. Behind them, the two thugs cry in sheer frustration, trembling. They only got a single tiny pill. Zhu Minglang stops and sneers, mocking that a tiny piece of meat costs 5 gold sands. Fang Nianian sighs that things here are pretty expensive, while Nan Lingsha frowns in disgust, calling them dirt poor. Suddenly, Zhu Minglang pauses with sharp, alert eyes, wondering if he can trade this Lin Dirp soul pearl for the pearl of Thiba Long. Nan Lingsha is also astonished, her eyes sparkling because she finally found some food for Little Thon Truck. Night falls over the forest outside the City of Evil, as Fang Nianian speaks up with a voice full of doubt. This City of Evil does not seem that dangerous, so why did they not just spend the night inside the city? Suddenly, a raspy voice laughs from the shadows, asking if the three of them really think the brothers are vegetarians. Nan Lingsha's eyes immediately darken as killing intent flares. 11 of them. Footsteps halt as a threatening voice cuts through the forest. "If you do not serve us well tonight, do not even dream of leaving here alive." He laughs gleefully, calling the girls absolute masterpieces. While Zhu Minglang's eyes turn dark, they really have a death wish. He sneers slyly, asking who really has a death wish after daring to steal their crystals. Nan Lingsha flinches, her face fills with deep anxiety. Suddenly, her eyes change from blue to a deep purple. In an instant, Vorsa takes over, her tearful eyes asking who these people are. Zhu Minglang points at his head, telling her to stop pretending so they can wipe these guys out. She whispers back she is not doing it, so he can handle his own mess. Fang Nianian walks over and whispers comfortingly, saying it is totally normal for a noble lady like her to forget commoners like these. Those bald thugs? The exact same ones she almost killed earlier. Versa shrugs in annoyance. Forgetting trash like that is completely natural, so she says to let Zhu Minglang handle it since she is staying out of it. Zhu Minglang remains calm as his power gathers, sighing that he will just handle this himself. He roars like thunder, ordering Darhe Ya to unleash the lightning spear dragon blast. Darhe Ya surges forward with massive power. Look at that, one opponent is instantly wiped out. A sharp shriek echoes as she gasps in horror he died in a split second. Zhu Minglang smiles proudly at his beast's claws, while Fang Nianian wonders how Darhe Ya got so strong. She fed it just a few days ago, and it was not this strong, but he simply grins. Exactly. It fully absorbed the Thunder Spear Dragon Soul Pearl. It did not just evolve lightning powers, but also awakened the fierce ancient dragon bloodline, though you won't see it today. Darhe Ya's eyes flash with stormy killing intent. Panicked thugs scatter, screaming that they must run. Zhu Minglang sneers coldly, ordering Thon Truck to kill them all as they scream for help. The fleeing thugs suddenly freeze, buried chest-deep in dirt, twitching in sheer terror. They cry out and beg for mercy, promising to return every single thing they stole. They beg him to let them go, offering everything, but Zhu Minglang just steps forward. He coldly reminds them that their hands are stained with the blood of so many innocent victims. He promises to send them off, hoping they repent in the afterlife and become better people. As the chilling darkness closes in, Fang Nianian giggles with excitement at the jackpot, while Vorsa speaks up. Little Bai Chi seems to really love this glowing item, asking if this is the one. Suddenly, a shout from behind makes the three of them turn around with highly confused looks. The leading Taoist points and accuses them of murdering people just for a bit of money. Zhu Minglang asks if they are from the Jiao Son sword sect, shocking Feng Yanyan. I trained there as a child, and one of their sword sovereigns is my great-grandfather. I never expected to meet a fellow disciple here, right as we are heading toward Jiao Sun. The Taoist glares and spits out an arrogant curse. How dare a corrupt villain like you claim to be a disciple of Jiao Sun? Zhu Minglang mockingly asks if there is anyone else as handsome and elegant as him. Do handsome and generous guys really look like villains? Junior brothers? I am actually but a cold, arrogant voice cuts him off. Who do you think is your junior brother? Stop dreaming. I have never seen anyone as shamelessly thick-skinned as you, she protests, raising her voice in anger. Are you completely blind? Those people were clearly ambushing us in the forest to take our lives, yet you call us evil villains, he sneers coldly. With a strange, mocking laugh, he sneers. How hilarious. You are literally digging a hole to bury bodies, that those merchants ambushed you. If they actually plan to murder you, how are you still standing here alive? Feng Yanyan's eyes turn red with pure rage. Your pea-sized brain is dragging the intelligence of this entire continent down. They are the bad guys. Who was trying to kill whom? Who was plotting against whom? What kind of twisted logic is this? Zhu Minglang reaches out to hold her back, sighing in sheer exhaustion. Dealing with these brainless sword sect disciples is a total waste of breath. Let us go, Yusha says, crossing her arms mockingly. Who is the real killer? Who is the one plotting murder? What kind of logic is that? Drawing her sword, she silently points the cold blade at Dahaya with an icy glare. You criminals stay put, take one step, and I will kill your black dragon. Dahaya suddenly pauses. Honestly, with another dragon right here, why do they insist on targeting He Bao? Suddenly, Bai Qi appears right behind Zhu Minglang, releasing a terrifying wave of freezing energy that instantly freezes the rowdy swordsmen in their tracks. Their bodies tremble, eyes widening in pure horror as they feel the frost slowly swallowing them. This is the power of an ice god. Zhu Minglang smiles faintly, reaching out to gently pat his dragon. I know the way back to Mount Jiao quite well, so there is no need to trouble you, junior brothers and sisters. Daheya immediately holds his head high, his eyes gleaming with pure joy. As expected of our boss, ruthless master and ruthless dragon. Meanwhile, at the foot of Mount Jiao sword sect, Zhu Minglang clasps his hands, politely asking them to inform junior sister Zi Miaozhu of his visit. The guard just glares, asking if he has a token. He rubs his chin, thinking, well, about that. Zhu Minglang raises an eyebrow, asking if the phoenix pine tree outside her old place on Hongfeng Peak counts as a token. The guard calmly replies that he will go call the eldest senior sister. Fang Nianian whispers with a worried look, you are supposed to be from the sword sect, but it seems like absolutely nobody here recognizes you. Did you just fail to make a name for yourself and switch careers? He replies calmly, I left this place when I was 15, and since many years have passed, the newcomers definitely would not know. Yusha tilts her head, her gaze turning incredibly sharp. So who exactly is this junior sister Zi Miaozhu? How does she remember you? Zhu Minglang answers calmly, recalling the past. We trained together as kids. She was a bit slow, so I used to guide her. Returning just in time to hear this, the gate guard disciple's face completely twists in shock. He roars angrily. Shut your mouth. You do not even have a single shred of sword aura. Yet you dare claim to have guided our eldest senior sister? He sneers with absolute venom. You must be some homeless distant relative coming to beg. Our sword sect has more than enough room for lowly servants like you. She snaps back angrily. You are the… Suddenly, an authoritative voice rings out, cutting off the bickering. Our eldest senior sister is here. Everyone behave themselves right now. The disciples immediately bow their heads, greeting her in unison. Zi Miaozhu looks on calmly, standing tall as the respected eldest senior sister of Mount Jiao sword sect. Calling out with authority, she says, Zhu Minglang. He gives a gentle wave, smiling softly to greet her as junior sister. Her expression shifts instantly, her trembling fingers pointing straight at Yusha as she demands an explanation. Who is she? He remains calm, replying that she is a companion traveling with him in his dragon-taming crew, then introduces her as Nan Lingsha. Fang Nianian eagerly raises her hand, announcing in a clear voice that she is Zhu Minglang's little dragon food manager. Zi Miaozhu's eyes turn red and well with tears as she hesitates. Just traveling companions? Why do you have to travel together? The sudden question catches Zhu Minglang off guard, his lips pressed tight in silence. Right when the tension peaks, Yusha steps in to stir things up, clinging to his arm with a sweet voice. Zhulang, why act so secretive? We fell deeply in love at first sight, and everyone knows about our mutual affection. Zhu Minglang sighs in utter helplessness, pinching his lips shut. Her eyes fill with panic and tremble, her heart aching as if pierced by a blade. So it is true. All these years Taigong lied to me saying you were dead. You actually just had another woman and did not want to see me, she says. He chuckles awkwardly, hastily pulling his arm away from Yusha. He pleads, Junior sister, I have urgent business with Taigong, so please ignore all of this. Zi Miaoju bites her lip, gently placing her trembling hand over her chest as she whispers, she can be the concubine, and I will be the first wife. The surrounding swordsmen immediately burst into tears, crying out, Eldest senior sister, our goddess, did this absolute nobody put a love spell on you? Zhu Minglang says, coldly, stop this nonsense at once. You and I have no engagement, and Nan Lingsha is not my lover either. What she said just now was purely to test the relationship between us. Yusha crosses her arms, puffing her cheeks in annoyance, thinking, a concubine? Dear Truk's eyes light up with pure joy as she stammers, so she is not your lover? He firmly replies, no, she is not. Blushing, she shyly walks over and wraps her arm around his. That is more like it. Let us go. Zhu Minglang sighs in deep exhaustion. Stop messing around. Let us go. Behind them, the stunned disciples of the Mountain Sword Sect stand frozen like statues as she offers to take him to see great-grandfather. The main hall is dead silent as Thai Kong sits majestically with his eyes closed, radiating a steady aura of power. Great-grandfather, Zhu Minglang, is here to see you. The old man slowly opens his eyes. In an instant, his expression completely flips as he leaps up with wide, panicked eyes. What? I only took a quick nap, so how did the underworld get to drag my soul away already? Sweat dripping down his forehead, he frantically waves his hands. Little Zhu Minglang, go wherever you want. Just do not come visiting me. Great-grandfather, I still want to live for a few more years. Zhu Minglang replies gently. Great-grandfather, I am still alive. I just had the misfortune of falling down to the Li Xuan continent. Thai Kong reaches out to pinch his cheek. Well, that pinch proves you are not a ghost. But how did you lose all your power? And why does your aura feel like a dragon master? Zhu Minglang forces a smile and bows his head to explain, Great-grandfather. Something's happened, and I have switched to being a dragon master now. He scratches his head to hide his embarrassment. This time, your grandson returned mainly to secure the rights of the Li Xuan continent from greedy rival sects. Could we perhaps send a few sect experts to guard the ancestral dragon city-state first? Talk about an easy yes, he ponders, then nods decisively. Great-grandfather pulls his sleeves, looking at dear Truk. Dear Truk, tell your martial uncle Kodung that if he agrees to guard the ancestral dragon city-state, I will gift him the Hao Ang sword. Zhu Minglang smiles, and his eyes instantly light up. This is incredible. With a swordmaster like martial uncle Kodung there, the ancestral dragon city-state is completely safe. She hesitates slightly before speaking. Master, the last Har-On sword of our sword sect was left behind in the Qi sword forest. But strange things have been happening there lately, and now nobody dares go near it. He confidently replies, do not worry, our little Zhu Minglang can easily ask the Truk sect to forge a brand new Har-On sword. A confident smirk plays on his lips. Exactly. I will personally deliver it to the ancestral dragon city-state to present to martial uncle. Dear Truk nods right. Your family's forging craftsmanship is second to none. Turning around, Thai Kong waves his hand to instruct her go arrange lodging for his friends, while I talk with little Zhu Minglang for a bit. Yes, master. She bows slightly and leads both Fang Yinian and Vorsa outside, leaving the two of them alone. Stroking his beard, his eyes sparkle with pride as a grin creeps onto his face. Not bad, little Zhu Minglang. I did not expect you to bring back two stunning beauties, especially the one wearing the veil. Seriously, you have the exact same great taste as your master. Panicked by the tease, Zhu Minglang desperately waves his hands to explain, master. One of them just feeds my dragons, and the veiled girl is actually my wife's younger sister. He raises an eyebrow, so just a concubine? Freezing up, Zhu Minglang gives a deeply exhausted look. Master, please do not talk nonsense. Great-grandfather's tone suddenly drops, becoming solemn as he says, fine. I will not interfere in the love lives of you young folks anymore. But since you are a dragon master now, why did you not find a powerful God-favored cultivator to protect you? Having two dragon masters traveling together is always going to be quite risky. Zhu Minglang immediately objects, his voice firm, Master, she is a God-favored cultivator. Stroking his beard, he calmly replies no. Her energy is definitely that of a dragon master, and her weird cultivation level seems to constantly fluctuate around the Lord tier. He raises an eyebrow, Master. Stop joking. I have literally witnessed her God-favored power with my own eyes. So how could she be a dragon master? Now things are getting incredibly weird. Great-grandfather's eyes turn cold as he says, is that so? Then whatever you saw was not her. That girl with you is clearly a dragon master. Zhu Minglang bows his head in silence, his mind racing. Could she actually possess both the powers of a God-favored and a dragon master? That should be impossible. Winking, great-grandfather tells him, all right, you can slowly figure this mystery out later. He continues in a lower voice lately. There have been rumors of ghosts in the Chi Sword Forest, but whenever I go, I have to hide myself. Since you know that area best, go check it out for me. He respectfully clasps his hands. Yes, please rest well, great-grandfather. The old man waves his hand as dear Truk enters, asking what his instructions are. His whisper makes Zhu Minglang pause in utter helplessness. Girl, go to the shrine and discard the memorial tablet with Zhu Minglang's name on it. No more monthly worship, it saves us incense money. The scene shifts to the Chi Sword Forest, where he stands proudly among thousands of swords driven deep into the earth. Though standing tall with an imposing posture, waves of old memories begin to flood Zhu Minglang's mind. A gentle voice suddenly echoed from behind, starting today. Pull every single sword out of this forest and swing them toward the sky. Treat the wind as gravel, and only when you completely clear all the rust off these swords can you finally leave this place. His hands trembled. Aunt Tuetangan. My fingers are totally numb. But Tuetangan coldly ordered him to keep going. At first, his fingertips just went stiff, but soon they became completely numb. Blood began to seep out, staining the sword hilt red. Auntie, my hands are bleeding, yet she kept pushing. Zhu Minglang looked down and whispered, every single sword here was once my companion, drenched in my blood. The wind howls. Long time no see, everyone, he mutters. Tens of thousands of swords rain down from the sky, all aiming straight for Zhu Minglang. He calmly closes his eyes and slowly floats up into the air. Suddenly, a strange phenomenon occurs, as the sword energy fractures. Crackling lightning bolts rain down from the sky with a series of deafening roars. A thick cloud of dust rises from where the lightning strikes. Zhu Minglang opens his eyes in shock, whispering, "What is this?" as he stares at the blazing sword before him. Radiating an overwhelming power, the roaring sword unleashes waves of energy that strike at Zhu Minglang. He gasps in sheer disbelief. What is happening? The sharp sword energy pierces straight through his body, while the aura surrounding the weapon burns even brighter. In a flash, it charges right at Zhu Minglang. He watches wide-eyed as it almost touches the center of his forehead. Look at that, the blade freezes right in front of him as he falls into a trance, his eyes glowing. Zhu Minglang gasps as the true, majestic form of this powerful weapon is finally revealed. As the legendary Linlong sword pulls back its immense pressure, Zhu Minglang realizes the demon his master warned him about is actually the sword spirit itself. Now, all the sword souls have merged into one. He gently touches the Linlong sword, whispering, "I thought I would never hold a blade again, but you were all waiting for me." The moment Zhu Minglang grips the hilt, a subtle jolt of electricity surges straight up his arm. Holding it tight, he realizes that only his arm can handle the millions of inscriptions carved by these spirits. It seems he will have to train hard to master it. Zhu Minglang raises the blade, admiring it while wondering, is this your true, ultimate power? Even though I am not a true sword cultivator, with you, I can easily unleash the power of one. I remember the sword that stayed with me the longest was called Makta. He tells the Linlong sword from now on, I will call you Makta. The sword floats up, humming in harmony with its new name. Suddenly, loud shouts shatter the silence of the quiet night. A fight broke out. It is happening right now at the Jiao Sun Sword Sect Bagua platform. Under the soft moonlight, peach blossoms drift in the wind near the distant cliffs as whispers of gossip fill the air. Senior sister is challenging someone to a duel over a man. Could it be our young master and senior brother? On the Bagua platform, two figures stand face to face as one of them speaks up coldly. My senior brother said you are a god descendant in his team, so let me test your skills. Let's see if you are actually worthy of standing by his side. Now, back in control of her body, the veiled Nanlingsha replies with utter disdain. What does that have to do with you? Dear Truk is left speechless and irritated. You, she fumes silently. Damn it, how can this woman be so ridiculously beautiful? Calling her a seductive enchantress, Dio Truk wastes no time and lunges forward, aiming a swift sword strike directly at Nanlingsha. Refusing to stand idle, she swiftly gathers her energy to manifest a giant calligraphy brush. Just like that, she draws a Bagua seal to block the blow, sending Dear Truk flying backward. You can practically hear the crowd erupting in absolute shock. Oh my god, she actually blocked senior sister's attack that easily. The disciples below are completely stunned as they whisper among themselves. Senior sister was forced back. But that woman has not even attacked yet. How is this possible? Am I seeing things? Nanlingsha frowns silently, while Dear Truk refuses to back down, finally getting serious with her stance. I was worried about hurting you, but it seems you are actually worthy of my full strength. Zhu Minglang stares at his palm, realizing his internal spiritual domain is becoming livelier by the day. The blazing Linlong sword appears in his icy domain, and all the spiritual beasts welcome it with excited cheers, shouting how cool it is. Zhu Minglang smiles in satisfaction, glad everyone is getting along so well. Suddenly, a massive surge of energy from Nanlingsha's direction catches his attention. Is someone actually fighting on the Bagua stone platform right now? Zhu Minglang wonders. Back at the scenic Bagua platform, surrounded by 8 giant pillars, Zhu Minglang squeezes his way through the gossiping crowd, asking them to let him through. By now, dear Truk is sporting visible cuts on her face. Leaning on her sword and gasping for breath, she fumes silently. Damn it. We are the same age, so how is she so much stronger? Dear Truk struggles to speak. Can you please take off your veil? I want to see exactly who I just lost to. Nan Lingsha does not hesitate, slowly removing her veil in front of the entire crowd before speaking. The painter master, Nan Lingsha, makes her grand entrance. Instantly, all the male disciples surrounding Zhu Minglang turn into lovesick puppies staring her way. Dear Truk sheathes her sword, muttering bitterly to herself, if even this newcomer has a prettier face than her. No wonder her senior brother is so smitten. Bowing respectfully to Nan Lingsha, dear Truk declares that she is a woman of her word. As a swordmaster, dear Truk admits complete defeat. From this moment on, she promises there will only be sibling respect between her and her senior brother, with no more romantic illusions. Nan Lingsha reacts coldly. This has absolutely nothing to do with me. Wait. Check out this confusion. Dear Truk asks if they were not supposed to be soulmates who fell in love at first sight. Pointing dryly at a completely clueless Zhu Minglang, Nan Lingsha tells her that his name is actually Li Yunzi, so she should go ask him directly. Dear Truk stands frozen in shock. Who on earth is this Li Yunzi guy? But by the time the gossiping disciples turn around, Zhu Minglang has already vanished. The very next morning, under beautiful blue skies, a flying mount soars across the horizon as a voice grumbles from above. Why must we travel in the middle of the night anyway? This endless flying is literally putting me to sleep. Fang Yanyan playfully asks if Zhu Minglang is running away from dear Truk because of a guilty conscience. He snaps back, stop talking, nonsense. Nan Lingsha remains silent, letting them bicker. She remembers that junior sister dear Truk has already gone off to travel with her aunt. Before leaving, she mentioned that the grand sect gathering is starting soon, and the rewards this year are supposedly worth several times more than before. Looking over at Fang Yanyan, Zhu Minglang explains that resources are the absolute lifeblood of a dragon tamer. The more abundance you have, the stronger you get. But honestly, I still have not decided if I should even join. Confused, Fang Yanyan asks what this grand sect gathering even is. Zhu Minglang explains that the event is mainly a tournament, pitting disciples from different sects against each other. For them, winning represents the ultimate honor and glory. Hearing this, Fang Yanyan playfully teases him, saying that even if he does join, it definitely will not be for the sake of honor. Dear Truk is Zhao Sun's sect's top disciple, yet Nan Lingsha defeated her quite easily. It seems the fighters in this great court continent are pretty mediocre, making this tournament a complete breeze. But Zhu Minglang replies that she only beat one single disciple. This place actually hides some incredibly terrifying monsters. Fang Yanyan immediately starts hyping her favorite sister. Nan Lingsha is still so young, and she will definitely match those old masters soon. Right on cue, Nan Lingsha speaks up. We are almost there. Gazing down, Fang Yanyan gasps in pure wonder at the stunning view, while Zhu Minglang proudly whispers that this is his actual hometown. Peeking through the thick clouds below are majestic mountain peaks, dragons gliding through the air, and grand cities that look like a mythical paradise. Behold, the Cloud Dragon Kingdom. Fang Yanyan marvels that the legendary tales recorded in the Dragon Academy archives are actually completely true. Zhu Minglang smiles after all these long years. I am finally back. Meanwhile, on an offshore island known as Trukman, the somber wails of funeral horns echo through the air. White mourning banners hang outside the Truk estate as funeral guests arrive continuously. Zhu Minglang stares in absolute disbelief at the grim sight. Behind him, Fang Yanyan nervously whispers, it looks like your family is hosting a funeral. Trukvu San and his wife hold each other up, listening to a visitor make excuses about how he simply failed to teach his son properly. The man claims his boy had no idea that blonde kid was Trukvu San's adopted son, Truk Dong, and simply went too far, causing this tragedy. Standing right behind him is Har Thiu Thong, showing absolutely zero remorse. He offers to let them punish his rebellious son however they see fit, but Har Thiu Thong secretly sneers with pure contempt when no one is looking. And just like that, bam! Har Thiu Thong takes a devastating kick to the ribs, sending him crashing through the solid stone floor. Zhu Minglang looks down coldly. If you came here to apologize, you should have the decency to kneel. Watching his son get absolutely wrecked, the old man roars in fury and launches an attack. Who do you think you are to assault someone here? Unfazed, Zhu Minglang summons his sword. The moment the old man's Keelan beast emerges, Zhu Minglang cleanly slices off half of its main horn. The severed horn, dripping with hot blood, flies right past the shocked faces of the onlookers. Screaming in agony, the Qilin retreats instantly. Shaking with rage, the terrified elder points directly at Zhu Minglang and demands to know his identity. Resting his blade on his shoulder, he glares at the old man like a dead man walking. I am Zhu Minglang. Nearby bystanders gasp in total shock. Is he really the legendary swordmaster Truk Thien Quan's son? Another whispers, wait, wasn't there a rumor that he died years ago? Two grumpy elders in bright purple and gold robes furrow their brows, scoffing loudly at the sudden appearance of this unexpected guest. They murmur about how he once angered the heavens, losing his entire cultivation and living as a ruined exile too ashamed to ever show his face again. Who could have guessed he would show up like this, a reckless youth who once dared to chop off a royal disciple's hand? He was just a kid back then, but now that he is fully grown, the top disciple of the sect, Harthu Thong, is in serious trouble. Seeing him, Truk Vusan bursts into tears of pure joy. Little Zhu Minglang, is it really you? You have finally returned home. His wife also weeps in disbelief, gently touching his face. You have grown so tall, my dear child. Life must have been so incredibly harsh out there alone. Clasping his hands, Zhu Minglang bows deeply to greet his dear uncle and aunt. Standing straight, he asks what happened to Truk Dong and where he is, while Vu Sun chokes back tears to explain the tragedy to Zhu Minglang. Truk Dong was beaten to death during the competition at Tongling clan, and behind them, the bruised punk who just got kicked tries to stumble up, muttering nonsense. Wiping blood from his lips, he sneers that if skills are trash, life and death are up to fate. He brags about being a dragon master with wild beasts, claiming that stupid Truk Dong got himself killed by being totally useless. He sneers that getting shredded by his dragon serves him right, but his father, Haro Dung, immediately delivers a brutal slap, roaring at his stupid son to shut his mouth. Clutching his red cheek, the stupid son whines, asking why his father even hit him. Hardung is much smarter, quickly bowing to show respect now that he recognizes the legendary Zhu Minglang. He admits his son Kothu Thong made a massive mistake by accidentally taking Truk Dong's life, and as his father, he will take responsibility. He promises to force his son to kowtow at Truk Dong's memorial hall as Zhu Minglang slowly steps closer, whispering a cold reply. Sure, but watch how fast things escalate. Zhu Minglang's hand instantly grips Kothu Thong's throat, forcing him to spit blood while his father screams. Hardung roars, demanding to know what more Zhu Minglang wants since they already agreed to kowtow. Smiling with pure, cold-killing intent, Zhu Minglang replies that he is simply granting the boy's wish. Dragging the punk right inside, Zhu Minglang tosses him down like wet garbage, commanding him to kowtow a full 100 times, or face the ultimate price. Scrambling up while rubbing his sore neck, he yells in sheer disbelief, asking if Zhu Minglang has completely lost his mind, demanding 100 bows. Glaring through his teeth, he stammers a pathetic threat, but Zhu Minglang is not about to let him spit any more trash. Expressionless, Zhu Minglang stomps his head onto the floor, ordering him to shut up and bow, then coldly tells him to smash his head down much harder. Now, Kothu Thong is bleeding heavily from his eyes and mouth. Yet, his wicked heart refuses to yield, as he silently swears to make Zhu Minglang suffer a fate far worse than death. Ignoring the pathetic worm, Zhu Minglang stares at the drifting incense smoke by the memorial tablet, his heart heavy with regret. Whispering to the spirit of Truk Dong, he vows to the memorial tablet that during the upcoming Grand Sect tournament, he will personally force these killers to pay their debt in blood. Suddenly, Hardung storms inside the room, completely losing his mind with rage. He screams that his son merely made a mistake, killing someone who is not even blood-related, accusing Zhu Minglang of showing complete disrespect to him and the powerful Zealand sect. Without even turning around, he just tilts his head and addresses his grieving uncle and aunt. He reminds them that they only had one son while Hardung has 3, so demanding an eye for an eye is completely fair, despite the old man's excuses. With a terrifying smile, Zhu Minglang promises that when they meet at the tournament, his hand might slip too. Stepping dangerously close to Hardung, he heavy-handedly grips the old man's shoulder with a cold stare. He warns him that if his killer son chickens out, Hardung better start buying coffins for his other 2 boys. Hardung's face turns purple from sheer fury, causing his panicked servants to rush over, begging their master to stay calm. They beg him not to faint because his son is almost finished kowtowing, but the old man is already foaming at the mouth. Watching from the side, a completely love-struck Fang Nianian clutches her chest, gushing to Nanlingsha about how incredibly cool and domineering Zhu Minglang is. Nanlingsha crosses her arms, wondering if this ruthless powerhouse is the real Zhu Minglang, and if he had just been faking his weakness all along. Suddenly, a sharp voice cuts through the air from behind, calling out Zhu Minglang's name. Glancing back at whoever is stupid enough to challenge him, he hears a woman mock him for still being as arrogant as ever. She sneers, asking if he thinks having Truk Thien Quan and Truk Twitngon backing him means he can get away with anything. Stepping forward in rich red robes is Madame Zhao of the royal family, raising her voice to scoff that his reckless arrogance has not changed one bit. Smirking at her arrival, Zhu Minglang mockingly remarks that he wondered who was barking, only to find it is just Madame Zhao. He asks if she thinks her royal title gives her the right to protect Haro Dung and his worthless son, glaring right into her eyes. He warns her that he has chopped off the hands of actual royal disciples before without hesitation. He warns her to get lost as far as possible unless she wants her Zhao clan to host a massive funeral, leaving her trembling in cold sweat under his gaze. Gritting her teeth, she curses internally. Realizing this kid is a complete lunatic who might actually kill her, she watches as Zhu Minglang turns back to the kowtowing boy, telling him to start counting. 5 minutes later, the exhausted boy faints, and his 2 terrified guards rush forward to prop him up, pleading with Zhu Minglang. They beg him to have mercy since their young master has passed out, to which Zhu Minglang simply barks at them to get lost. Carrying their unconscious boss, the guards flee in terror while Vu Sun steps up, softly thanking Zhu Minglang for defending their family honor. Trukdong is probably smiling in the afterlife right now, knowing he has an older brother who always has his back like this. She stands right next to him, crying and screaming out, "Little Zhu Minglang, you have gone and offended the royal family and the Zilin sect again." Before she can even finish, Zhu Minglang cuts her off. "Do not worry, aunt. I know exactly what I am doing." The scene shifts to a bridge over a dike, connecting the houses to a massive forest. This is the inner court of the Truk clan. As the 3 walk across, Zhu Minglang explains they are entering the inner court, making the others gasp at how huge his estate is, having both outer and inner sections. Walking ahead of Fuang Niam and Nan Lingsha with his hands resting behind his back, he calmly replies, "Years ago, my family took in a blacksmith clan from a defeated nation, back when most of their people were forced into slavery. My grandfather hated slavery, so he set up a space for them, sending some to the palace while leaving my uncle and aunt to manage the outer court." Fuang Niam is confused and asks, "So your uncle and aunt are not actually your real relatives?" Zhu Minglang keeps walking, casually chewing on a piece of grass as he explains their real name was Vu Sun, and they were my father's old classmates. My father hated slavery too, so he treated him like a brother and had him change his last name to Truk, which is why he is called Truk Vu Sun today. Spitting out the piece of grass, he explains further, even though they raised Trukdong, they treated him like a real son, and I always saw him as my own brother. Nan Lingsha walks quietly behind them, thinking to herself that his father must have a truly kind and gentle heart. If the Lishan continent had just cooperated and obeyed the Truk clan, their people would never have ended up as miserable slaves. Fuang Niam speaks up again, so Trukdong did not actually carry the blood of the Truk family. Here's the crazy part, if someone killed him, would nobody even look into it? Leading the way, Zhu Minglang sighs, "Unfortunately, my uncle and aunt are too submissive. I bet they did not even tell my father and just kept this entire tragedy bottled up inside." Suddenly, a loud shout cuts the air. Absolute nonsense. A cloaked figure sitting on a rock near the dike, quietly fishing, suddenly yells out, "You underestimate your father way too much." Keeping his face hidden, the man grumbles, "Married for so long, and you only decide to bring your wife home now. If your great-grandfather had not told me, our inner court would be holding your funeral by next month." Zhu Minglang rolls his eyes and waves his hands in absolute disbelief. "Dad, you actually believe the crazy things the old man says?" The long-haired man slowly turns around and lifts his hood, revealing Truktian Quan, the powerful head of the Truk clan. He chuckles and asks, "Or have you just been living too comfortably, throwing away the powerful cultivation that everyone else envied without a second thought? Did you just want to escape your clan duties and live a carefree life with your gorgeous new wife?" Hearing this, the 2 girls instantly freeze in sheer awkwardness as a sweating Fuang Niam tries to explain, "Wait, mister, please do not believe the rumors. We are absolutely not married." Zhu Minglang just points behind him and clarifies they are actually members of my dragon tamer team. This is Nan Lingsha, a god favored from the ancestral Dragon City state on Lishan continent. She politely bows in greeting. Standing right next to her, Fuang Niam waves awkwardly, "Hello, mister." Zhu Minglang quickly adds that Fuang Niam is just their junior manager, and they are only close friends, which suddenly causes Truktian Quan to explode in pure fury. "What, a dragon tamer? Does the legendary casting craft of our Truk clan mean absolutely nothing to you? You wanted to be a swordsman, and I let you. Now that your cultivation is gone, I thought you would finally come home to learn our family craft. But instead, you became a dragon tamer. Is being a master blacksmith really that shameful to you?" Now look at their reaction. All 3 break into a cold sweat while Zhu Minglang tries to laugh it off. "Come on, Dad. I actually have been practicing. I even crafted a set of armor for my dragon to show you." Glaring at his son, the old man asks, "So you only picked up our sacred family craft for a dragon?" Zhu Minglang instantly turns pale and sighs, "Fine, if that is how you see it." Turning away, Truktian Quan grumbles, "You should have just said so earlier." "Fine. For a dragon then. Honestly, you can marry the dragon for all I care." Suddenly, he raises his hand and calls out, "Who is hiding there? Show yourself." Suddenly, a figure leaps down from the trees, landing gracefully on one knee. It is Tan Duong, bowing deeply as she prepares to report. Tan Duong greets her master, and he tells her to rise. His face suddenly darkens as he admits, "I was actually planning to send Tan Duong to tear that beast limb from limb. But since you already unleashed your anger at the hall, I do not need to make a move myself anymore." Zhu Minglang grins, "So you had it all planned out, Dad. I thought your old bones had grown soft after all these years." He stands up abruptly, reeling a struggling fish right up out of the water. Truktian Quan growls, "They dared to disrespect our family, so how could I ever let them off? Standing behind him with his hands on his hips, Zhu Minglang chuckles, true, you are an old fox after all. But then, he turns serious and asks, I heard from the old great-grandfather that our clan is facing a massive crisis, so what exactly is going on? His father leans down, his expression turning deadly serious. Our Zhu sect is still one of the 6 great clans after all. Even if we are at the very bottom, we should not be this pathetic, right? Tianguan smacks him right on the head in a total rage, shouting out bullshit. Right now it is the Zhu sect and the Bo clan fighting as part of the 6 great clans, only because we grew way too fast these past years, which made the royal Zilin sect jealous and started all this trouble. Are you looking down on me? Zhu Minglang rubs his sore head, holding his wound in sheer frustration. Nianian and Nan Lingsha stand right behind them, completely terrified and bewildered, wondering to themselves if this major crisis actually means rising from the very bottom to the top of the 6 great clans. Dear old ancestor, could you please stop being so incredibly vague? Zhu Minglang stands there rubbing the bump on his head, awkwardly giving a thumbs up as he smiles and asks, what are you saying, Dad? I saw through it long ago. Your brilliant methods, peerless talent, deep wisdom, cunning schemes, and absolute fox-like cleverness. Tianguan raises his hand to stop him, telling him to cut it out, so nauseating. You brat never have anything decent to say. Zhu Minglang excitedly flashes another thumbs up, saying no way. I would absolutely never do anything to hurt you, Dad. He suddenly remembers something else and speaks up, oh right, there is one urgent matter I need you to handle for me. Hearing this, he turns to Nianian and Nan Lingsha with a cheeky grin, teasingly asking which girl he got pregnant, leaving both of them standing there completely speechless. Zhu Minglang sighs and begs him to stop joking because this is incredibly urgent. Do you know about the Lishan continent, Dad? Your son wants to claim that place. Can you make it happen? Tianguan looks up, rubbing his chin in deep thought, saying he heard many ancient ruins have been discovered there, and even the legendary ancient Dragon Gate exists. Right now, countless factions are fighting for it, and you know only the absolute strongest will grab control of the Lishan continent. That is why, do not be afraid of anything during this exam, just relax and do your thing. Then he slaps his hand on Zhu Minglang's shoulder, adding, but try not to chop off any more royal limbs. After all, you cannot use your young age as a convenient shield like you did as a kid. Tianguan looks right into Zhu Minglang's eyes and warns him besides. The opponents you are facing are not just some young sect disciples. Zhu Minglang frowns and asks if those shameless old men are going to interfere too. Hearing this, his dad grabs him by the neck, grinning widely. Do not worry. Worst case, we just tell your old ancestor that the Lishan continent has an ancient sword. He will definitely agree to bring the entire Jiaoshan sword sect into the mix. With a playful glint in his eyes, Tianguan suggests, or I could go whisper some sweet words to the royals, maybe play the son-in-law card, using their massive royal influence to easily push you straight to the very top. Then he laughs out loud. Living off a rich woman saves decades of hard work. Cut to the Zhu family hot springs, where Nianian is bathing completely naked. She stands there using a small towel to cover herself, her face blushing red with excitement. The Zhu family actually has such a massive hot spring, and the water is perfectly warm. Sister Nam, come join me quickly. But standing there is Wu Sha, whom no one knows yet. Wrapped only in a bath towel, she slowly steps down into the steaming water. Sweeping her long hair to one side, she sits on the steps and softly agrees. Soaking in the warm water, Nianian watches her closely and finds it incredibly strange. She used to be so cold whenever Nianian joked with her before. Why does she suddenly feel like an entirely different person today? Suddenly, Wu Sha drops her towel, exposing her smooth, stunningly fair back. Nianian stares with absolute lust, steam practically blowing out of her nose as she praises her. Her body is seriously gorgeous, honestly. You cannot help but stare. Nianian reaches out, teasingly asking what she eats to grow like that. I am so jealous. Wu Sha is taken aback, but then she grins mischievously, teasing you have some big guts for a little girl. You are so bad, sister. That tickles me. Stop it, sister. I promise I will behave. This feels so incredibly relaxing. Zhu Minglang. Startled, Tanduang clutches the clothes and kneels right next to him, asking young master, what is wrong? Are you feeling unwell? Seeing her, he jumps back in shock and yells, why did you suddenly barge in? Do you not know how to knock in the middle of the night? Still kneeling, she softly replies, I was just bringing young master his bath clothes. I knocked for so long with no answer, so I feared something was wrong and came in. Zhu Minglang snatches the clothes from Tanduang, quickly covers himself, and runs away in a panic. Shyly calling out, you sleep here, I will find another room. The scene shifts to the Lanji Valley inside the bamboo sect. A grand waterfall cascades down the high rocks as disciples gather below. One of them speaks up, they say, a divine dragon resides here, guarding the ancestral vein. If angered, it can easily submerge this entire place in a massive flood. Those colossal waves can rise hundreds of miles into the sky. They could shatter entire mountain ranges. Even the ancient beasts in those waters could easily level a whole nation without breaking a sweat. Now, here is the big question. Do you know who actually nurtures this legendary divine dragon vein? Among the students sitting there, a young boy curiously asks, "Who is it, master?" From beneath the water, an ancient, bright red carp rises to the surface and speaks. "It is the very gentleman you are looking at right now. Yes, it is me. I am the ancestor of the 9 heavens, and this humble fish form is just my smallest, most basic transformation." Seeing this, the 2 students sitting below mock him and shout out that the foolish teacher Xiangai is telling lies again. Angry, teacher Xiangai splashes the water and roars, "Shut up and just listen to my lecture." Regaining his composure, the old teacher explains that massive ocean waves can rise hundreds of kilometers high, easily hiding ancient beasts in the deep water. Hearing that, a boy sitting below raises his hand with a grin. "Teacher, you already explained this part earlier." Annoyed, teacher Xiangai shakes the water and barks, "I only did that because you might forget. I am teaching it again." The students below quickly answer back, "But you have already lectured on it 7 times today." Suddenly, a familiar voice echoes from nearby. "Is that so? Then class is over for today. Go play." Hearing this, the kids happily run off, jumping around and excitedly shouting time to go play. Teacher Xiangai fumes with rage as he watches them leave, cursing these little rascals skipped class. "Once I get back, I am absolutely telling their parents to punish them. This is driving me crazy." Just then, Zhu Minglang appears, waving to greet teacher Xiangai. "I came to visit you," Zhu Minglang says. Startled, teacher Xiangai turns to look at him, happily rushing over to greet his old student. "What lake did you feed on to grow so fast?" Zhu Minglang respectfully bows his head. "Teacher Xiangai, it has been a long time. I am a dragon tamer now, and I have many things to ask you." He freezes in surprise, then proudly puffs out his chest. "A dragon tamer? You actually succeeded. Forget about being a swordsman, they have no future. Raising dragons is the way, and with me here, you will easily conquer the 4 seas and 8 wastelands." Suddenly, teacher Xiangai gapes in shock, utterly stunned as he asks in disbelief, "Zhu Minglang, how did my little boy grow up this fast?" Standing before teacher Xiangai, Zhu Minglang explains that he came to seek guidance on something. Teacher Xiangai smiles warmly at him. "You have always been the smart and studious one, not like those other lazy brats who hate class. Ask away." Right then, Zhu Minglang summons Bai Qi, who lies quietly with its eyes closed in his arms. Looking down, Zhu Minglang asks, "Do you still remember him?" Crossing his arms, he replies, "Of course I do. This old fish does not have the memory of a goldfish. This is that white Kang dragon from back then, right? How did he end up looking like this?" Zhu Minglang holds his dragon close, gently explaining the situation. He was frozen once, which caused him to degenerate into an ice worm, then spin a cocoon, and finally emerge as an ice god white dragon. Could this degeneration actually be caused by the dragon calamity? Teacher Xiangai examines both Zhu Minglang and Bai Qi, explaining that a normal dragon calamity would never alter a white Kang dragon's bloodline into a hybrid of Silver Moon Yinglong and Starwind Ice Dragon. This means it is not a typical dragon calamity, but rather a rare samsara metamorphosis. Zhu Minglang stares in confusion. Samsara metamorphosis? Teacher Xiangai explains yes. This degeneration and molting ability combines Phoenix, Nirvana rebirth, and Dragon Butterfly metamorphosis into one rare phenomenon. Your little white dragon does not even need to face a tribulation. If he undergoes another cycle of reincarnation, he will easily reach a much higher realm. Still puzzled, Zhu Minglang asks for clarification. "Another reincarnation?" He replies exactly, meaning he still has the potential to degenerate once more. This power is incredibly unique. After a few rounds of reincarnation, even without a dragon tamer, he can undergo metamorphosis to reach supreme levels entirely on his own. Waving his hand to stir the water, teacher Xiangai continues. This ability means he is completely free from the constraints of a natural lifespan. No bloodline limits can hold him back, and he will only grow stronger over time. Just imagine an unparalleled dragon king, as strong as the ancestors, the strongest in the universe. He will be so incredibly powerful that absolutely no creature across the vast starry skies could ever hope to match him. Sweating nervously, Zhu Minglang looks at Bai Qi, amazed. Who knew his companion was this powerful? Too bad each reincarnation cycle requires him to degenerate back into a weak form. Teacher Xiangai frowns, looking at him. Whether it is Phoenix Nirvana or Spirit Butterfly Metamorphosis, there are actually a few methods to speed up this process. Zhu Minglang's eyes light up as he eagerly asks, "How do we do it? Please teach me." Teacher Xiangai. Putting his hands on his hips, he turns away. "I forgot." Defeated, he collapses onto the ground. The scene then cuts to a majestic cliffside estate overlooking the vast ocean, known as Xiangshan Ancient Dragon Palace. While Zhu Minglang sits inside the pavilion, a young woman approaches him and asks, "Excuse me, are you looking for me?" Turning his head, he replies, "You must be Lu Minner. I am Zhu Minglang, the older brother of Zhu Tong." She bows her head, replying, "Greetings, Master Zhu. I have heard about you, and Zhu Tong often brought you up in our conversations. Dressed in a beautiful purple and blue outfit with long flowing black hair, this elegant lady is indeed Luminer. Zhu Minglang looks at her and explains, here is the situation. Yesterday, I read through Zhu Tong's notes and found out he offended some guy named Huang Xiaobang to stand up for you, which ultimately led to his tragic death. Can you please tell me the details? Suddenly, Manhwa squeezes her eyes shut as tears stream down her face, and she collapses to her knees. Manhwa covers her mouth, sobbing hysterically as she speaks. Young Master Zhu Minglang, I did not mean to cause Trukdong's death. Seeing this, Zhu Minglang stands up, flustered, and quickly explains, I did not come here to place any blame. I just want to understand the situation. You did nothing wrong, so please do not panic like this. With tears pouring like rain, Manhwa sniffling responds, I was originally just a relative staying at your outer bamboo court. She remembers Triu Hai grabbing her hair and wrists from behind, grinning like a predator, cornering her as she continues later on. I came to this ancient dragon palace to study. One day I met a pervert on the main street, and only later did I learn his name was Triu He. Relying on his royal mother, he joined the Hong Tiu gang and ran wild. Ordinary citizens did not dare complain. In that flashback, Triu Hai pins her down and rips open her clothes. All she can do is struggle and scream for help. No, help. Manhwa remembers Trukdong pulling Triu Hai off her, beating him within an inch. Once Zhu Tong learned of my humiliation, he stepped in to save me, giving that Zhao Shi a beating he deserved, which sparked a bitter feud with the Huang Xiaobang. When he returned, he was severely battered with one of his arms broken. Sitting at the table, young Master Zhao Hui stood behind him and spoke up. In this upcoming battle, whoever successfully kills Zhu Tong will be rewarded with a spiritual divine fruit, pooled together by everyone. What does everyone think? The man opposite replies, sounds like a plan. Still kneeling, Minner continues to recount how during that meeting, the Huang Xiaobang made such a bet, leading Hao Xiaokong to directly murder Zhu Tong. Wiping away her tears, she trembles all over and says, I never expected Master Zhu Tong to lose his life for me. It is all my fault. Patting her shoulder, Zhu Minglang gently comforts her. All right, do not blame yourself anymore. But as he clenches his fist, dark killing intent erupts. Frowning in absolute rage, Zhu Minglang snarls Zhao Shi and Hao Xiaokong, those absolute beasts. I will make them pay this blood debt with their lives. The scene then transitions to Zhu Minglang's courtyard inside the inner bamboo sect. In the yard, Nianian is gently polishing her jade flute, while Nan Lingsha is busy writing couplets. As Zhu Minglang walks through the gate, Nan Lingsha turns and asks, You're back? Did you find out anything useful? Zhu Minglang steps in and speaks up. He has uncovered the whole truth, and with the next match in 3 days, he is absolutely going to make them pay. Then, turning to Nan Lingsha, he says seriously, if Nan Lingsha is free, she should join too, since there are plenty of powerful masters there and the rewards are incredibly generous. Nan Lingsha smiles and simply says, okay. Suddenly, a loud shout echoes from outside. Zhu Minglang, you brat, you are finally back. Running off in such a rush before class even finished yesterday, how incredibly rebellious. Surprised that Shingai actually came looking for him, Zhu Minglang thinks the old man finally figured out a way. Master Shingai, what brings you here? Did you finally remember how to help Bai Qi quickly get through his regression stage? But instead of giving Zhu Minglang any real answers, Shingai just starts lecturing him. No way. How could you just leave my little fish house all alone without saying a single word? Did we not promise to roam the world together? Hearing his guilty response, the old man just sighs and says, well, it is not like I even left the academy gates yet. Nim spots Shingai and screams in shock, look, a flying fish. At her voice, he glances over toward Nim, only to spot then Mok Than Than Long right there. Talk about a total shocker, he is completely losing it. He even questions how Nim is raising it, asking how on earth did you raise this dragon? It is literally a sacred dragon, yet it has none of that powerful, majestic aura. Zhu Minglang is still totally confused by everything. Nim honestly admits it was badly injured when it was small, which only makes Shingai even more annoyed as he snaps a crippled dragon. You do not pay attention when choosing dragons. Fortunately, this guy is not bad, even drinking 10-year Ngan Sam holy nectar. If you somehow had some 100-year holy nectar, there might actually be hope for it to rival the Bang Than Bok Long itself. At the mention of holy nectar, he immediately speaks up 100-year holy nectar. I actually have that. I just did not know when was best to use it. Shingai is absolutely stunned that Zhu Minglang actually has it. For a rare treasure like that, he urges him now is the absolute perfect time to use it, but it is best to use it with elemental mutation to help the dragon fully enter its mature stage. On top of that, here is the crazy truth Shingai reveals about what using this holy nectar actually does. It will awaken its sacred bloodline, taking its raw power to a whole new level. And then, Zhu Minglang raises his voice to ask, there are so many types of elemental mutation. Which one should I choose? Please guide him carefully right now. preferably with a waterwood attribute aged 300 to 500 years. Any higher and he might not survive the absorption, but any lower would just be completely useless. Hearing those words come out of his mouth, Fang Yanyan is super excited as she runs over. Praising him, she says this fish is amazing because it can not only fly and talk, but he also knows so much. But Shingai just backs away and yells, "Get your dirty hands off me. I am the noble Nine Heavens fish family, knowing astronomy above and geography below, so how could trivial questions stump me?" Getting criticized like that instantly turns her admiration into pure rage, and she screams, "Your hands are the dirty ones," she yells. "Where am I dirty?" Just as Fang Nianian tries to rush in and fight Shingai, Zhu Minglang steps in to hold her back. "Come on, just help me find the waterwood elemental flower, because in 3 days the Grand Purifier is going to unleash its massive divine power." Nan Lingsha stands nearby, watching all this unfold as she thinks to herself, Zhugate truly deserves its spot leading the 6 great clans, since even a tiny fish here is this magical. A moment later, Fang Ninian honestly tells Shingai, "But I do not know this place at all, so how can I quickly find your flower?" Seizing the moment, the fish offers her a little deal. "I know the way," he says, "so just respectfully call me sir and I will lead you right to it." Fang Nianian's eyes instantly light up, and she quickly double-checks, is that really true? Does just calling you sir actually do the trick? "Sir, hurry up and tell me where the waterwood elemental flower is." But since he is old, his memory completely fails him, and he mutters, "Oh dear, I suddenly forgot," he says. Realizing she has been totally tricked, Fang Nianian chases after Shingai to beat him up. Zhu Minglang tells Nan Lingsha he is entering the big tournament in 3 days. If she is free, she should tag along too, since there are tons of powerful cultivators there and the rewards are amazing. She instantly agrees. Over on this side, Fang Nianian is screaming at him, "You jerk, did you just seriously play me? I am going to braise you in soy sauce," she threatens. Terrified, Shingai quickly promises, "I really forgot, but the second I remember, I will tell you." A few days later, at the bronze battlefield of the Imperial Palace, Zhu Minglang asks one of his men, "Does our Zhu Gate have anyone else competing today?" His subordinate quickly answers, "Young master, our clan focuses entirely on forging and craftsmanship. When it comes to raw violence and fighting other factions, that is just not really our specialty, so nobody is planning to shoot for a high rank in this event." He sighs with a bit of disappointment. Is that so? Zhu Minglang asks about the rules, so she quickly explains everything to him. Right. Each round starts with 100 fighters, and there are 2 ways to win. First, whoever is still standing when the timer hits 0 advances. Or second, they fight until only 10 survivors are left. Now that is going to be brutal. To prevent larger factions from teaming up and bullying the weak, each group can only send 1 to 3 fighters. Zhu Minglang then asks how Xiao Tong is doing. What round is Hao Xiao Tong in? He is in round 3 already. Nan Lingsha does not hold back, telling him he has already entered the battlefield of the absolute strongest. Grabbing a bunch of grapes from the table, he casually asks if they are numbers 55 and 56. Before she can even answer, he walks off, saying he needs to stretch his limbs. Suddenly, boom, Nan Lingsha speeds right past him like a flash. Zhu Minglang sighs heavily. Not fighting together? Oh well, that is perfectly fine. Up on the high tower, Tran Hung watches the crowd and notes those 2 came from the pavilion, probably disciples of some major faction. "Why has nobody mentioned their names before?" he asks. "Go bet on their numbers for a big win. They look like Zhu Gate members." "Did you not hear a kid from Zhu Gate died on stage yesterday?" asks a newcomer, while Xiao Li quickly replies nearby. Zhu Gate is only famous for forging, and nobody has ever heard of any powerful god mortal or dragon tamer among them. Tragedy again? Will another one die today? Hearing that, he mocks them loudly, right as Trong Hao walks by and overhears, scoffing that a bunch of useless brats trying to enter this place must just be tired of living. As he stares intensely at the crowd, the sudden sound of heavy footsteps makes Truong Hao turn his head in curiosity to see who is approaching. "Is that Zhu Minglang?" he mutters, before shouting out in irritation at the grape-eating kid. Ignoring Truong Hao completely, Zhu Minglang just casually tosses a grape, while Bai Qi reaches out a hand, wanting to help peel it for him. The moment the grape flies near, Bai Qi waves its claws a few times and flawlessly peels the skin off. Catching it right in his mouth, Zhu Minglang arrogantly asks what he wants, prompting Truong Hao to point a threatening finger at him. "Get lost right now. Run before you lose your only chance." Zhu Minglang just keeps chewing, muttering to himself, "Honestly, why does this guy always attract the weirdest attention?" A loud gong rings out to announce that the first round's 3rd match is officially starting, and the eager competitors quickly step onto the field. Instantly, Truong Hao releases a massive wave of dark killing intent. He sneers at Zhu Minglang, telling him to know his place because he was warned, and now he is just setting himself up to be a total laughingstock. "Should I just beat you until you are a cripple?" he asks with a yawn. His opponent snaps back, "What did you say?" Trung Hao yells out in absolute fury at being looked down on, immediately barking fierce orders at his shadow beast. Angori, kill him, he commands, and the beast quickly spews fire. Zhu Minglang looks surprised, but the next second, Bai Qi rushes out to fight. Just look at this with a few quick strikes. It completely slices off Angori's pincers, leaving it howling. Aventring Haar is completely frozen in sheer terror. Once the dust settles, Zhu Minglang yells to his opponent, "Will you jump into the lake yourself for everyone to mock, or do I cripple you first?" Finally, Trunghar and Angori fall to their knees. "Forgive me, I withdraw," Trunghar begs, and they both plunge straight into the lake. Zhu Minglang sighs in disappointment. This guy went from acting like a dragon to a worm in seconds. Zhu Minglang turns to the terrified duo of Tio Tren and Tio Li, muttering to himself, "Seriously? These guys are so cowardly, yet they still force my hand. Since you refuse to attack me, I guess I will just have to come after you," he mutters, slamming his palm to the ground. Both Heya and Thantrak instantly materialize as Zhu Minglang barks his command. "Heya, Thantrak, today is your training day," he announces, already calculating his next strategic play in his mind. "Wipe out everyone on the field before time runs out, except for Nam Nin Sa." A giant dragonfly with razor-sharp pincers charges directly at them, but Heya pushes forward in a wild frenzy, taking on dragons and dinosaurs alike in a massive, chaotic brawl. Instantly, Ingo Kung barks out an order to his squad that Black Dragon is causing chaos. "Take it out first." Heya looks up, completely surprised by a group of enemies closing in on it. Realizing they are hostile, the beast grows absolutely furious, puffing up its scaly cheeks a few seconds later. Then Heya spits right at Ngo Kung's group, sending them into a screaming panic. Fortunately, Ngo Kung barely dodges the gross attack, cursing that the filthy black dragon actually dared to spit on him. Not stopping there, Heya leaps high into the air. It conjures a massive ball of crackling lightning, aiming straight for Zhu Minglang's opponent before diving straight down. An earth-shattering explosion erupts with a massive blast as they scream in absolute rage, "Damn it! Fight our actual dragon beasts instead of targeting us directly. This is totally unfair." You can tell something bad is coming when Heya lets out this highly amused cackle. Its signature move? Farting. The foul stench spreads like a deadly toxic cloud, choking everyone as they wheeze out. Is this actual poison gas? It smells terrible. I cannot breathe. I cannot stand this awful smell anymore. Even Con Kwok tries covering her nose and mouth, but tears stream down her face from the horror of the stench. Furious, she screams out, "How dare you fart at us? I will never forgive you." Finally reaching her limit, Con Kwok loudly summons the mighty Tu-Trao Lone Long. The massive beast Lone Long instantly materializes as she triggers her earth-shaking earthquake spell. Obeying her command, Lone Long violently thrashes its tail at Heya, slamming the ground repeatedly until the entire terrain begins to collapse. Giant rock debris flies wildly through the air, forcing everyone around them to shriek in pure terror. The destructive sinkhole quickly spreads to where the crowd is standing, triggering painful cries as people trip and fall. Even the mighty Heya gets buried under the tumbling rocks, letting out a terrified howl. Surveying the dead dragon beasts scattered across the floor, onlookers eagerly whisper about how exciting this match gets. Meanwhile, Tron Kui instantly recognizes her. Is that not Con Kwok, the elite chief disciple of the Thunglong Temple? Why did she enter the battle arena so late, he wonders, since her high level should easily guarantee her a spot. Up in the spectator stands, Launtrio excitedly leans over to nudge his friend. "She is my top pick. I am making a fortune today," he gloats. Meanwhile, Zhu Minglang quickly notes the massive force of Lone Long's attack. Under Tu-Trao Lone Long's overwhelming aura, the surrounding beasts act like scared little chicks, scattering in every direction for cover. Within moments, the giant beast chases Heya straight back toward his master. The crying dragon wails out, "Master, what do we do now?" Sitting proudly on Lone Long's massive head, Con Kwok yells, "Do not run, you shameless, vulgar, smelly black dragon." Instead of helping, Zhu Minglang casually sets a condition. "Unless you have Dragon Lord crystals, Bai Qi will not assist you." The greedy demand leaves Heya sweating bullets. But suddenly, it looks up in shock, spotting Thantrak completely surrounded by enemy beasts high up in the sky. Within seconds, Con Kwok catches up to Zhu Minglang. "Did you raise this incredibly smelly and shameless dragon?" She snaps in fury, but Zhu Minglang calmly retorts, "Even humans have bathroom emergencies, let alone dragons." Stepping forward to defend Heya, Zhu Minglang notes that with her overwhelming strength, she could easily secure a spot in the next round. "Why torment my poor dragon beast?" he asks, as Heya quickly nods along in agreement, but she merely sneers with absolute arrogance, warning him that anyone who upsets her will face a devastating end. Like Master, like Dragon, do not think wearing those fancy clothes can hide how ugly and vulgar that beast of yours really is. Getting insulted like that, Zhu Minglang is not about to take it sitting down. So, he snaps right back. "Talk about a hot temper, I will toss you into the pond in a bit to cool you off." To teach her a lesson, Zhu Minglang fuses He Ya with the silver azure storm armor and thunder spear, then barks his order. He Ya, slam straight into that purple-clawed Luan dragon and find an opening to wipe out the other dragon generals too. The next second, the dragon roars back, ready to go completely all out. Seeing He Ya powered up like this, Fu Jingguo grits her teeth in sheer panic, whispering to herself. Dragon armor. Clad in that brutal silver azure armor, He Ya charges straight ahead to clash head-on with the Luan dragon. The two massive beasts lock horns. The Luan dragon gets completely confused as He Ya suddenly takes off, soaring high into the sky. It is not just her dragon, every other beast on the field stares up at He Ya in utter confusion. A split second later, he crashes back down with a deafening boom that shatters the earth, blasting the surrounding dragon beasts backward. The explosive impact catches the eye of the spectators watching from the high balcony. Worried for Fu Jingguo, the elder mutters that this black dragon is incredibly cunning. He is using the sheer force of Fu Jingguo's own purple-clawed Luan dragon to wipe out the rest of the beasts. But Lu Shi quickly reassures him, telling the elder to relax because Fu Jingguo is his top disciple and is bound to win. Xiang chimes in, totally agreeing that she is definitely going to win. Just as the elder predicted, the maddened dragon beasts begin tearing each other to pieces. Tasting his enemy's blood, He Ya throws his head back and roars. Harnessing those fresh drops of blood, the dragon unlocks a massive surge of raw power to obliterate his foes. High above, the elder jumps to his feet, crying out in panic. This is bad. Startled, Lu Shi asks the elder what is wrong. Drenched in sweat, the elder mutters that Fu Jingguo's purple-clawed Luan dragon is not going to have an easy time putting that black dragon down. But Lu Shi has absolute faith in her. He tells the elder that the black dragon does not even dare to face his junior sister's dragon head-on. On top of that, it is surrounded and getting mauled by all those other beasts. There is no way it stands a chance against her dragon. Stroking his long beard, the elder firmly sticks to his guns, asking if he has not noticed it yet. That black dragon is bizarre, completely wild, frantic, and entirely fearless. Suddenly, Lu Shi tenses up as a terrifying legend flashes in his mind, mentioning a rare and ancient tyrant dragon bloodline. Rumors say they can use evaporating blood to trigger and awaken the most brutal, feral power sleeping deep inside their bodies. Staring at He Ya, who is still actively weaponizing his enemy's blood, he mutters in disbelief, could it really be? Zhu Minglang just wears a smug grin, totally confident that He Ya is going to win. On the flip side, Fu Jingguo's cocky attitude is completely gone, replaced by pure panic as she realizes her dragon might lose. Now check this out, Lu Shi's eyes widen in shock as he finally realizes Zhu Minglang's true, brilliant play. Fueled by his raging bloodline, He Ya wraps his massive claw right around the Luan dragon's face. The next instant, he hoists both the massive dragon and Fu Jingguo high up, slamming them into the dirt so hard the earth shatters, tossing her right off her mount. Cursing bitterly, she looks up only to see He Ya delivering a brutal, crushing blow straight to her dragon's belly. Panicking, she quickly casts her recall spell Purple-Clawed Luan Dragon. Get back here. In a flash, the beast vanishes, returning safely to her realm. He Ya instantly locks eyes on her next move. Furious, Fu Jingguo prepares to summon an even deadlier beast. Damn it, looks like I have to bring this one out early. In a flash of light, a long, white, snake-like creature emerges. Meet the Ironclaw Spear Dragon, a high-tier dragon lord. Instantly, it fires a lethal barrage of sharp spikes in every direction. Spectators groan in pain as stray spikes hit them. Oh man, even He Ya takes quite a few nasty scratches from that attack. Slicing through incoming spikes, Zhu Minglang yells out his instructions. He Ya quickly absorb the spiritual energy floating in their blood. Hearing the command, He Ya focuses on his surroundings. He actually starts pulling in his opponent's spikes, drawing thick streams of dark red spiritual energy straight to himself. Seeing this, the serpent dragon lunges forward to attack, but He Ya only needs one massive punch to blast the beast away. He moves in, sinking his massive fangs deep into his opponent's back. Watching from the stands, the crowd can't help but marvel, how is that black tyrant dragon getting stronger the more it fights? Fu Jingguo had better not lose. I put my entire savings of the last 6 months on her. That dragon tamer seems to be from the Zhu sect. Who knew their dragon armor was this powerful? But others scoff, muttering that strength means nothing now. Word on the street is the Zhu sect offended the higher-ups, so anyone fighting for them is going to meet a tragic end anyway. Back in the arena, that white serpent dragon is desperately trying to wrap its body around He Ya to constrict him. Though squeezed so hard his blood begins to pour, he flexes his massive muscles and lets loose an earth-shattering roar to blast the serpent back, completely vaporizing a whole corner of the mansion. Even the judges are stunned. They never expected Zhu Minglang to go to such extreme lengths to fight Fu Jingguo. Looks like he is serious. He really wants that next round. But another voice counters, saying if he struggles this much in round 1, that black dragon is completely done for. Nursing a massive lump on his forehead, Thieu Thong snaps back bitterly. If I knew Zhu Minglang was this useless, I would have shoved him in the coffin with truck dong right then so they could rot together. Trio High steps in. He tries to calm him down. Do not worry, next round we will get some real pros to wipe out his beasts. Hearing this, another guy asks if they are only going after the dragons. Trio High catches the drift immediately, telling young Master Hoang to rest easy since the Hong Tubong has fighters ready in round 2. They will put him in his place. Meanwhile, Kan Kwok is starting to panic over her Kang Kook Thuong Long. Glaring at Hakna, she snarls that even though he won, his dragon is in much worse shape than hers. Zhu Minglang completely ignores her, simply calling out to Hakna to get back over here. But Hakna aggressively shakes its head, no. Zhu Minglang easily reads its mind, while little Bai Chi sits on his shoulder with a very proud smile. Giving the dragon some serious credit, he asks if it still wants to fight. Instantly, Hakna starts crackling with intense waves of electricity. Seeing that terrifying stance, the other beasts on the field break into a cold sweat. Just watch this. Hakna goes completely wild, unleashing high-voltage lightning bolts that blast every rival away with a devastating thunderhorn strike. Over in the corner, 2 other dragons are still wrestling, but Hakna refuses to leave them alone. It charges forward, ramming the purple beast right from behind to show who is king. Another enemy appears. A beast with its rider charges straight for him. Does this crazy dragon think it is invincible? Caught off guard, Hakna spins around as the rider yells out time for you to die. But Hakna reacts just in time, locking horns with an opponent twice its size. Unfortunately, Hakna gets thrown backward as blood sprays everywhere. Seeing this, Zhu Minglang decides to send in Bai Chi for backup, telling him to move out. But the stubborn dragon growls to wait, pulling itself up to prove it can handle this alone. Building up speed, it charges the opponent with a defiant roar. But this is not some calculated attack, it just rams itself straight into the enemy with raw fury. The opponent is completely stunned, but the rider recovers quickly and presses his advantage. Great job, Tulam. This black dragon is no match for you at all, so do not be afraid. Go bite him. The blue beast snaps forward, but Hakna is much too quick. In a flash, he maneuvers around and sinks his teeth right into the blue beast's neck. It worked. Hakna completely terrifies the beast, and it runs for its life, despite its master screaming. The rider yells for Tulam to stop running, but realizes it is hopeless and starts pleading with Zhu Minglang instead. He desperately begs, crying real tears as he screams out, "Brother, spare me. If your dragon kills us, you might get disqualified too. There is no bad blood between us, so why go this far?" Before he can even finish, a brutal force slams him from behind, shattering his face. No mercy. Hakna has absolutely zero intention of letting that blue beast escape, biting its neck again. It shoves the blue dragon right into the adjacent lake, letting out a massive, triumphant roar to claim victory. Honestly, you can't help but cheer for this. The entire crowd goes absolutely wild over that epic, high-energy showdown. Elsewhere, Kan Kwok's master is busy comforting her, telling her not to look so down because losing to Zhu Minglang is no shame. Another disciple mutters the name Zhu Minglang, asking who he even is and why nobody in the dragon tamer community has ever heard of him. Sniffling. Kan Kwok replies that at just 15, he supposedly passed the chief disciple trial at the Jiao San sword sect. He was too strong. Even some of the sect elders could not beat him. He is highly famous in the imperial capital, so running into him in round 1 is just terrible luck. But the others wonder if he is a sword cultivator. How does he control dragons? His cultivation was ruined. The master explains he is basically just a mortal now, stroking his beard as he thinks of Hakna. The old man notes that Zhu Minglang clearly refused to give up, choosing to become a dragon tamer instead. And he is doing pretty well on this path too, training that lightning spear tyrant dragon to an absolutely brilliant level. Gritting his teeth, Kan Kwok's senior brother picks up his teacup and vows revenge, telling her that while Zhu Minglang is strong, he is still no match for Sa. Just wait until next round, and I will take care of him for you. As the referee calls the match, Nan Lingsha calmly steps onto the stage. With matches 55 and 56 wrapped up, Zhu Minglang and little Bai Chi are seen yawning as they leave arena number 9. All qualified fighters must check the city notice boards for schedule updates regarding the next round of the tournament. As the group moves on, Nan Lingsha quietly murmurs a little reminder to herself. The Great Ting continent really has some hidden powerhouses, so she cannot afford to slack off. But those words do not sit well with Zhu Minglang. He mockingly thinks that she is being far too humble. Soon, they arrive back at the bamboo-gated guest mansion in the inner courtyard. Alone in her room, Nan Lingsha slips off her cloak to check on her wound. But the peace doesn't last as the door is suddenly kicked wide open with incredible force. Zhu Minglang excitedly holds up the medicine to show her Miss Nam. "I heard from Tundung that someone ambushed and hurt you, so I brought this for you." But as Zhu Minglang realizes the awkward situation, his face turns red and he gasps. Still, in total shock, Nan Lingsha quickly grabs her clothes to cover her bare shoulders. "Who told you to come in? And why did you not knock?" Zhu Minglang quickly apologizes, yet peeks through his fingers to keep staring. It is my fault. I am sorry. I did not see anything at all. Knowing his perverted nature, Nan Lingsha immediately unleashes a devastating kick on Zhu Minglang. Get out! Right on cue, the next second he goes flying straight into the courtyard. Before Zhu Minglang can even process what happened, someone rushes over to his side. It is Tundung, leaning down with deep concern to ask if the young master is okay. With a massive red mark stamped on his forehead, he went from fine to definitely not fine. Later on, they head over to Truk Thien Quan's room in a different part of the estate. Shoving a chicken leg down his throat, Truk Thien Quan casually asks, "Calling you over this, late through Tundung, I hope I did not interrupt anything between you two." Though cringing at his dad, Zhu Minglang politely replies that it is no trouble. He wipes his mouth with a napkin, saying the fate of the Lichuan mainland is pretty much settled now. There really are ancient ruins over there, but no matter how much I threatened or bribed them, those stubborn old fools refused to say a single word. Hearing this, Zhu Minglang immediately jumps up in panic, asking what they should do next. They cannot let the people of Lichuan become slaves. Truk Thien Quan's face turns dead serious as he explains they only have two options now. First, they drop the nice act entirely. Whoever tries to compete with us gets crushed. Then, Truk Thien Quan calmly takes a sip of tea. Second, he sets his teacup down, meaning they compete directly through this upcoming tournament, but rumor has it they have all teamed up against our Ju Gate. Those cowards know our faction dominates in forging but lacks combat strength, which is incredibly cheap. Now it is Zhu Minglang's turn to snatch some food, asking if his father seriously doubts his own son's power. Despite the question, he merely glances back with total calmness, saying it is a matter of fairness. As the greatest clan of Xinjin, the older sects and established factions will always hate our guts. The next second, Truk Thien Quan narrows his eyes with deep meaning. Once as a fluke, twice as a pattern. But Zhu Minglang just rests his chin on his hand, looking totally lost. Then, an absolute stroke of genius hits him. If those bastards are already ganging up against them, why not just turn this into an all-out gamble? Wait, here is where his wild scheme actually kicks off. Zhu Minglang suggests adding some juicy wagers to the mix, targeting those major rival powers. Still, Truk Thien Quan is not easily convinced, questioning what happens if they lose and suffer a devastating hit to their own assets. Quite the opposite of his worried father, Zhu Minglang casually lifts a flask of wine, saying their clan's most vital resources are the metal mines. Right after, a pretty dangerous look washes over his face. Even if we lose those mines to other factions, their crafting skills are so garbage that they will still have to beg us to forge for them anyway. So although we might not technically own the mines, we still get to use them, while easily gouging our forging prices sky high. Hearing this, he nods along with pure pride, wondering when his mischievous boy became this incredibly sly. Zhu Minglang quickly flatters his dad, saying he learned from the best. The older man scoffs to act unimpressed, but inside, he is absolutely thrilled. The next second, Truk Thien Quan bursts out laughing fine. The azure breath from Zilin's sect, the Imperial Thunder Iron Mine, the true fire furnace of Kanglong Temple, and the Imperial Foundry run by the Holy Court. I have wanted those prime resources for ages. Let us strip them clean. He then leans in to strategize with Zhu Minglang, planning to strike a deal with their allied powers beforehand. They will definitely lock down the resources of at least one city-state, forcing the rivals to either back out from the pain or watch their entire skin get peeled off together. He readily agrees and adds that once he and Nan Lingsha win the upcoming round and claim all the prize pools, they can return those assets to their friendly allies as a favor. As for the resources of the other factions, they will just split them. Tundung, standing right beside them, is left completely speechless by this outrageous father-son scheme. Talk about two devious old foxes. Those rival factions are totally doomed. Soon, Truk Thien Quan clinks cups with Zhu Minglang as they yell in unison, "Let us split it!" Later, with a creaking door, Zhu Minglang heavily drags his feet back inside. The heavy alcohol leaves him utterly wasted, blindly stumbling toward the bed purely out of habit, giggling to himself while slurring some totally nonsensical song about how they are going to split the loot. Zhu Minglang faceplants onto a fluffy pillow, completely unaware of his own terrible singing, shouting out one final toast. And just like that, the awkwardness peaks. The strange color of the blanket makes him jump, and he realizes he is so wasted that he wandered into the wrong room. Woken up by all the loud ruckus, Nan Lingsha narrows her delicate eyebrows in pure annoyance. Zhu Minglang snaps wide awake, slowly sliding off the bed to find a way out. Luckily, she is still asleep, so he needs to slip away now. Sensing a cold breath on the back of his neck, he knows he is completely doomed. Zhu Minglang turns around trembling, asking if she would believe this is just a misunderstanding, but Lingsha has already wrapped him up tight. With a pale face, Zhu Minglang frantically begs her to let him explain and spare his life. But that night, under a romantic starry sky, a painful scream totally shatters the quiet night. The next morning at dawn, a worried voice suddenly calls out Zhu Minglang. What on earth happened to you? Zhu Minglang miserably shoves rice into his mouth, while the bruises from last night are still clearly visible. Seeing this, Nianian gets super curious about why his face is so beaten up. Suddenly, under the table, a smooth foot gently brushes against his thigh. Startled, Zhu Minglang tries to laugh it off, explaining that he just got completely drunk with his father last night and took a bad fall. She raises an eyebrow, sensing something fishy, and jokes that she thought he got beat up after hitting on some innocent girl. Then, Nianian rubs her fingers together in a meaningful gesture, leaving Zhu Minglang confused about what she is doing. She reaches her hand out and bluntly demands money because they are broke, but Zhu Minglang pretends to play dumb, which only makes Nianian furious. Does he really expect her to pay for his dragon food out of her own pocket? He laughs nervously, scratching his head and denying it. He asks her to calculate the total so he can pay her back. Nianian immediately pulls out an abacus and starts carefully counting the numbers. First, Baiqi's monthly supply of crystals costs a total of 12,000 gold coins. Next, Qingzhuo's food for this month is also bought, costing 2,300 gold. Every single word she says hits his brain and his poor wallet like a truck. And since Heya needs to eat dragon beast meat, only your family clan can help you save a bit on that massive expense. Zhu Minglang is completely speechless, his tears streaming down as he mourns his empty pockets. Is this a joke? I mean, just look at that bill. Being a dragon master is an absolute money pit. Nianian casually adds that he still has not paid her salary for this month, making him desperately look for any excuse to run away. He claims he needs to use the restroom and will handle the dragon food later, before sprinting away at full speed without looking back. Inevitably, Zhu Minglang crashes headfirst into someone, landing directly on top of Qin Yang, who shyly mutters a greeting to her young master. Embarrassed, Zhu Minglang quickly gets up and asks Qin Yang what brings her here so early in the morning. Qin Yang honestly says she just came for breakfast. Zhu Minglang acts cool and quickly walks away, telling her to go eat and stay safe. But in reality, beneath those painful purple bruises on his face, a very deep blush is spreading along with a sudden, highly embarrassing nosebleed. Panicking over a simple breakfast? Completely ridiculous. Meanwhile, Qin Yang politely nods and obediently follows his advice. She politely promises to remember his words. Meanwhile, Zhu Minglang thinks about Heya, who is recovering very fast inside the Soul Realm, and will definitely become much stronger this time. Since his silver azure dragon armor was shattered in the last fight, now is the perfect time to forge a brand new set. Without wasting any time, he heads to a bronze door built into a rocky cliff. Standing before the cast armor palace, Zhu Minglang recalls the last time he visited this forge, back when he was only 8. As Zhu Minglang touches the carvings on the door, it automatically swings open. Just watch how that beautiful red spiritual energy slowly drifts out from the room. Inside, Tianquan is already waiting. He looks straight at Zhu Minglang and speaks. He asks if the boy still remembers the inscriptions. Seeing him, Zhu Minglang quickly runs over, calling out to his father. It turns out that beautiful red and gold spiritual energy was coming directly from Tianquan. He tells him that since he made a bet, he needs to show something decent. Raising his hand, he immediately draws all the flowing spiritual energy toward him. It swirls around Tianquan to make sure there are no flaws in his son's armor for the battlefield. He then channels that power into a heavy suit of armor nearby. These rune inscriptions are the true essence of our Truck clan. Even ordinary steel gains extraordinary power after undergoing the sacred rune ritual. Watching this unfold, Zhu Minglang looks at his father with deep, absolute gratitude. He asks if his father is making dragon armor for his pet. Tianquan glances at Zhu Minglang and says he already knows about his previous dragon armor getting destroyed in the last battle. Thrilled, he happily says he came today specifically to make new armor for his black dragon and did not expect his father to start it first. Knowing exactly what his son is thinking, Tianquan proudly lifts his chin and asks if the brat is totally moved right now. Zhu Minglang confesses that he is indeed touched, adding that since his father is here, he has some questions to ask him. The father immediately guesses his true intention, asking if it is about forging. Seeing his father already knows, Zhu Minglang admits it, but hearing this only makes Tianquan incredibly emotional, with tears streaming down his face. The next second, Tianquan drops to his knees wailing, leaving a helpless Zhu Minglang just standing behind him, thanking the heavens. Thank the ancestors. My son finally wants to learn our family craft, he says, so I can face my forefathers without any shame. After bowing to heaven and earth, Tianquan finally stands straight up. Ask whatever you want, son. Your dad knows absolutely everything about forging, he says, and Zhu Minglang takes this perfect chance to clear up his doubts. Why do we need inscriptions when forging items? He asks, and sure enough, Tianquan replies as his tensed face softens up a bit. Think of an inscription as the very soul of a forged piece, he explains. Because once a weapon has a soul, its raw power completely outclasses any ordinary gear. Take the Thuanglong, for example. Its real strength comes entirely from its mystic arts. Without those arts, a Thuanglong is basically just a common snake. But Zhu Minglang wonders, what actually decides if an item gets a soul or stays empty? Tian Quan explains it simply, saying it is just like any living creature in this world. Objects also have their own way of cultivating, and he goes on to describe a sword and armor wrapped in glowing crimson spiritual energy. If a sword slays 10,000 foes and tastes endless blood, it gains its own cultivation. It will develop a bloodlight inscription, and armor that survives countless brutal clashes will eventually birth a soul, manifesting its very own inscription crest. Hearing this, Zhu Minglang strokes his chin, asking if inscriptions can ever be sealed away or forced into a deep sleep. Tian Quan responds right away, telling him that absolutely happens. Not all inscription souls are constantly active. They only truly shine when paired with the right master and under the perfect conditions, which finally answers his big question. Check this out. Zhu Minglang starts daydreaming about how insanely powerful he will be once his sword Linglong levels up. If every single sword soul on his sword Linglong glows with brilliant inscription light, will its power easily surpass his own past cultivation as a legendary sword cultivator? Cutting his daydream short, Tian Quan calls Zhu Minglang over to introduce the heavy armor standing right in front of them. Those things you saw earlier were just inscription fragments. I am repairing and piecing them back together into a combat flame inscription, he says. I will carve it on this breastplate, he adds, and Zhu Minglang listens with total focus. Right, but your black dragon is not very high level, so the best material I can use is volcanic essence, because anything stronger would just weigh it down and suppress its power. Zhu Minglang hears this and quickly confesses, yes, this is way better than the armor I made before, and with that, Tian Quan folds his arms to explain the design. This fire dragon heavy armor easily withstands brutal attacks from lower lord-tier dragons, and if you awaken its inscription, your black dragon can even clash with high-tier dragon lords. You can bet Zhu Minglang is absolutely hyped hearing that promise. That much of a boost, he asks, and Tian Quan proudly snorts. Of course, how else do you think our Truk sect stands above all others? Yet you completely ignored our family forging arts and did not care about them at all, you brat, he grumbles. The absolute limit for this volcanic heavy armor is one single inscription. Later, I will have someone refine this armor one more time, so when your black dragon unleashes its lightning in the future, its destructive power will be multiplied. A second later, he proudly boasts to his dad, saying maybe becoming a dragon tamer is not a bad choice after all. I can maximize our Truk sect advantages and completely wipe out anyone who opposes our family, but instead of praising him, Tian Quan smacks him right on the head. You only talk nonsense, brat, so wait until you can stand above everyone else before boasting like that. Do you hear me? He barks. Then he sighs deeply, his mind drifting back to his beloved wife. It is a pity your mother joined the Buddhist temple, and probably will not see the day you rule the world, he says, as the mood suddenly turns heavy. Zhu Minglang closes his eyes, remembering his mother when she left them behind to become a nun, whispering, my mother, is she? An image of 3 houses stacked on top of each other appears, representing the Mushan sword sect, as the sect leader suddenly flies high, slashing her blade down decisively. Zhu Minglang, you know what the Mushan sword sect is, she warns. Men are banned here, so why do you stubbornly try to force your way in? Defeated by her, Zhu Minglang grits his teeth, shouting, I want to see my mother, but her blade continues flashing with yellow-green light, telling him to forget that foolish thought. With those words, she blasts him far away, leaving only clouds of smoke behind. Zhu Minglang crashes hard onto the grass, still clutching his sword, and he sits before her with a bruised face and blood running down his cheeks. Looking at him calmly, she admits that surviving so many of her strikes proves he actually has some real skill. As sect leader Nirm Tin, I will spare your life this time, so get off my mountain. In the next scene, father and son stand back to back. Do not worry. Once the Truk sect is stronger, I will gather all our forces, storm the Mushan sword sect, and wipe them out completely, his dad says. Tian Quan drops his tough act, adding that even if we have to steal her away, we are bringing your mother back. Sweat dripping down his cheek, Zhu Minglang tilts his head in utter shock, realizing this petty revenge is his dad's true motivation to grow the sect. He chuckles, narrowing his eyes to explain what nonsense. My wife basically became a nun. If I do not steal her back, how can I call myself a real man? Zhu Minglang raises a single finger, flashing a gentle smile while a bright aura glows right behind him. Well, good luck, Dad. If you can actually unify the forces of the Jiting Imperial Court, then I will finally get to be the crown prince. Zhu Tiangguan strokes his chin and glares down, making him scowl. Hey, I once said the exact same thing to your grandfather, as the vast courtyard of the Grand Palace slowly unfolds. Inside the sword-casting hall, Zhu Minglang suddenly gasps, his mouth hanging wide open in panic. Beneath a crimson sky, Jian Linglong suddenly opens its maw and roars, what is wrong with you? Jian Linglong, he asks in complete shock. Vivid red beams shoot out from Zhu Minglang's hands, blasting straight forward into the distance, leaving him standing there completely stunned and utterly powerless to do a single thing. As the sword materializes and floats upward, he rushes forward. While elsewhere, Zhu Tiangguan is relaxing peacefully under the warm morning sun. Inside the room, Zhu Tiangguan sighs. Helping that brat forge a set of dragon armor has left my hands completely numb. Out of breath, Zhu Tianji suddenly bursts into the room, the elder of the Zhu clan, Zhu Tianji. He grabs the doorframe to steady himself, sighs in relief, and snatches the hot tea off the table before the other man can even stop him. As expected, Zhu Tianji spits it all out too hot. He screams. Zhu Tiangguan just smiles. I literally just brewed that hot tea. So what is the big rush? He asks as the panicked elder begins blabbering like his pants are on fire. Wait, look at this. When the elder visited the sword casting hall, he thought they got robbed. But Zhu Minglang actually swept the place clean. Zhu Tiangguan rubs the back of his neck. Goodness. Elder, Zhu Minglang finally turned over a new leaf and actually wants to learn the family trade properly. What is the harm in him taking a few crafting materials? There is absolutely no need to get so worked up over such small things. The elder gapes. Just a few materials, he asks, while Zhu Tiangguan frowns, wondering if he took too much, though it should be fine. After all, Zhu Minglang needs to vent some steam for our Zhu sect at the upcoming grand tournament, the elder points out, calmly breaking it all down. Zhu Tiangguan, I really think you need to go see this yourself, the elder insists. So Zhu Tiangguan puts his hands on his hips and agrees. A plume of smoke quickly rises from the palace, and the two run outside to see. Oh my god, that little brat took every single sword we had. The two stop to talk, and Zhu Tiangguan awkwardly turns to look at the elder. Elder, do we need those swords urgently? He asks, as Zhu Tianji grimaces and admits, well, not exactly. However, some of those premium weapons were custom ordered by other cities. Yet Zhu Tiangguan just clasps his hands, closes his eyes, and mutters that is still fine. Sorry to trouble everyone with forging new ones, but our Zhu sect branch offices are actually about to send over quite a lot of premium resources soon anyway. When they arrive, Elder, please pick whatever catches your eye. The other elder frowns but agrees, standing right before a bright light shining from within the room. Someone change this main door immediately, Zhu Tiangguan orders, standing tall as the wind blows his robes and hair while he quietly reflects. You absolute prodigal son, if you do not get a good result in the upcoming tournament, I will settle this score with you, because those swords cost a fortune. Zhu Minglang stands completely stunned, staring up at the massive beast looming before him. Inside his spirit realm, once Heya fully heals, his strength will skyrocket, and Bai Chi's raw power is going to grow right alongside his rapid development. Then he shifts his eyes to look at a massive red dragon perched directly above. Having swallowed so many precious swords, the sword spirit dragon has grown significantly stronger, and now Zhu Minglang looks over at Qingzhuo with a rather somber expression. Now only you are left, he sighs, as a small vial floats up, surrounded by glowing green rings. This 100-year silver fir holy dew and 500-year waterwood element flower can help you evolve, he thinks, as the glowing vial pours its divine essence. Maturity yet? Hurry up and call him out so I can take a look. Suddenly, a massive crash directly slams into the roof, startling Mr. Jinli as the entire house begins to crumble into a million broken pieces. Standing in the middle of the wreckage, Zhu Minglang scratches his head and coughs, while a sweating, frantic Mr. Jinli quickly floats out. Zhu Minglang, are you trying to assassinate this noble fish? You usually seem so sharp and bright, so why did you suddenly turn into such a complete fool? He glares at him with wide eyes. If this fish had not escaped in time, I would have been crushed to death by those rocks. Qingzhuo roars loudly, soaring in epic loops that leave Zhu Minglang utterly stunned, while Feng Nianyan rushes out of the house, quickly wrapping a thin shawl around herself. Oh my gosh, is this an earthquake? She gasps, looking up only to freeze in shock. Is that actually Qingzhuo? Standing opposite her, he quickly explains, yeah, when he summoned the dragon, he accidentally wrecked the whole room. Nianyan stares right at him. Thank goodness it wasn't an earthquake. She was terrified and hadn't even finished her bath. Qingzhuo lowers his head as she gently strokes him, admiring how much more majestic, powerful, and beautiful he looks now. Shai suddenly appears behind Zhu Minglang, noting that the dragon successfully converted to the wood attribute, which is great, since the divine wood bloodline is far stronger than the forest giant dragon. And get this, Zhu Minglang turns to ask if a dragon can actually switch its elemental attribute. Closing his eyes, Xai explains that the main and secondary bloodlines can indeed convert during the growth process. On one hand, this is closely linked to the growth process of the dragon itself, and on the other hand, it is adjusted by the Dragon Master using spiritual materials. Rubbing his chin skeptically, Zhu Minglang asks if Qingzhuo changed because of the silver fir holy dew and the waterwood elemental blossom, prompting a massive explanation from the elder that leaves him totally speechless. Exactly. If you had fed the divine wood green holy dragon raw meat and focused on beast-type dragon soul pearls, it would have become a forest giant dragon with a much more savage animalistic nature. But because you nurtured it towards the path of a divine wood holy spirit right from the start, it naturally assumed this majestic wood dragon form upon reaching maturity, making Zhu Minglang's eyes light up with excitement as he realizes that a dragon's primary and secondary bloodlines can actually be shifted like this. Suddenly, the red-haired girl pipes up, asking how they should strengthen Qingzhuo next, jokingly wondering if they just need to water and fertilize him, which prompts Xna to quickly reply. The rapid growth method requires tons of wood elemental blossoms, since the ordinary foods he ate before simply won't cut it anymore. Ideally, you should find sacred wood, fruit, or holy dew, as that is the only way to elevate Qingzhuo to the commander level. Hearing this, Zhu Minglang grumbles inwardly, completely shocked that he has to feed his dragon pure elemental blossoms now. It seems every single dragon is a money-burning machine, Nianian sighs, turning to him with a cheeky finger gesture to ask if he heard that. Qingzhuo needs wood elemental blossoms to grow, so cough up the gold already so she can go buy them. But instead of listening, Zhu Minglang gets totally distracted by her cute, post-bath appearance, which she immediately notices, making Nianian scream in sheer embarrassment. Flustered and blushing bright red, she calls him a dirty pervert, while Zhu Minglang can only think that nobody could possibly resist this. From inside the house, her parent calls out, telling the girl to get back inside instead of just standing there. Grabbing her towel, she tilts her head and heads in, while over at the Huangdong battlefield, a gorgeous hostess steps onto the stage. She flashes a captivating smile toward the packed stands of the Huangdong arena, welcoming everyone back to the thrilling event. The host strikes a massive bronze bell, her loud, clear voice echoing across the entire stadium. Are you ready for some absolute madness? The final match of this second round is about to determine who has what it takes to survive until the very end. Striking the bell once more, she wastes no time and proclaims that the wait is finally over. The third match of this intense second round has officially begun. As the tolling bell fades, tension fills the air as opponents glare at each other with pure malice, while Kan Kwok excitedly cheers for her senior brother to avenge them. Clenching his fists, her brother assures her that he is going to absolutely destroy that brat in the arena. With a smug grin, he strides down the steps onto the stage, but the moment he arrives, his confidence completely vanishes. Total panic sets in as he realizes the chess sect has already laid down a massive tactical formation. The opposing chess masters turn to face him, led by the legendary Gu Feijun himself, who glares with absolute, cold-blooded, murderous intent. Instantly shifting his attitude, the guy awkwardly waves his hands and begs them to just carry on with their business, slowly backing away with a very nervous, sweating smile. Turning pale as a sheet, the terrified fighter scans the surrounding area in absolute horror. Is this even allowed? Since every faction is supposed to only send 3 members, but all these groups have teamed up to crush Zhu Minglang? He chuckles nervously at the sight, realizing that Zhu Minglang must have seriously pissed off some extremely powerful players. Deciding it is way too dangerous to get involved, he retreats, while Zhu Minglang calmly scans the hostile crowd. Dozens of hostile cultivators quickly surround our hero with fierce, predatory glares. Staying perfectly calm as cold blue flames erupt around him, he warns the crowd that if they pick this fight, he is not holding back. With a loud call, his massive wood dragon manifests on the battlefield, prompting a worried spectator in the stands to frown at the sight. Holy crap, that is the legendary divine wood green holy dragon, which easily boasts the power of a superior dragon lord. Luckily, they already had Gu Feijun lay down a massive chess formation beforehand to trap him. Otherwise, that single holy dragon would have easily carried Zhu Minglang straight into the next round. A nearby young lord scoffs with utter disgust. I really want to see how on earth he can break this deadly 10 deaths array. The ground slowly cracks open, revealing a world-shaking power lurking deep underneath. Massive, ancient branches sprout up rapidly, one after another from those deep fissures. Qingzhuo unleashes its massive power, spreading it across the entire arena as it strikes, refusing to wait a single second longer. A fierce dragon sporting massive golden horns glares right at Qingzhuo, snorting thick smoke as it gets fully ready to clash. Qingzhuo shows absolutely no mercy, glaring back with fierce eyes as it summons a colossal branch bursting straight from the earth. The opposing dragon anxiously backs away in fear, while Qingzhuo reaches out with its massive, terrifying claw. The horned beast is quickly caught in a crushing grip, breathing fire in a panic to break free from Qingzhuo. On the sidelines, an old enemy sneers with absolute contempt toward Zhu Minglang. He mocks him, asking if he is stupid since his dragon wields fire, boasting it will burn the wood dragon to ashes. Yet, Qingzhuo is completely unharmed by those flames. It squeezes its massive claw, smothering the fire while forcing the horned dragon to screech in agony. After dealing with the beast so effortlessly, Qingzhuo simply tosses it aside like garbage. The old man panics, seeing his dragon taken down so easily, cursing and wondering how on earth that wooden beast is completely immune to fire. His unconscious dragon falls straight toward him, its eyes completely blank. It crashes heavily right on top of the old man, sending blood spurting from his nose. Zhu Minglang stands there watching with a satisfied look, his mind quickly analyzing the layout of the battle. Zhu Minglang observes the arena, realizing why Master Chai combined the water-wood transformation with the sacred silver fir holy dew. It makes absorption incredibly easy, while giving the wood attribute a water marsh effect that completely prevents fire from countering it. The silver fir demon guard is now significantly stronger than the old wood spirit. Suddenly, another aggressive dragon stomps forward, shattering the ground beneath its feet. It charges right up to Zhu Minglang, looking ready to rip his entire body to shreds. Startled, Zhu Minglang looks quite worried, but suddenly, a massive branch pierces straight up from the earth right in front of him. The next second, that tree mutates, shooting up hundreds of feet. The terrified beast immediately panics, stammering out that it was just passing by. But there is absolutely zero mercy left for this creature. The massive branch punches the beast right in its face. The next moment, the sheer force blasts the beast high into the sky as it screams for help. Nearby, another branch is getting frozen solid by an ice dragon, but Qing Zhuo is already soaring in to back it up. Just look at this, it charges straight at the ice dragon with a devastating headbutt. Not stopping there, Qing Zhuo lets out a mighty roar as vibrant green energy wraps around its body, launching a barrage of thick, writhing wooden roots. These roots intertwine to form a massive, dense network of branches, rapidly spreading across the spirit domain. The enemy dragon is caught completely off guard, as a thick vine shoots forward and wraps tightly around its neck. Qing Zhuo keeps pressing the attack, channeling its raw spiritual energy directly into the branch. A second later, the ice dragon's head is cleanly and effortlessly sliced right off. Up in the sky, the female MC is still riding her avian beast to keep an eye on the arena. Oh my god, is he creating an entire forest out there? Unfortunately, the dense trees completely block our view, leaving us unable to see the intense battle happening inside. Suddenly, the powerful shockwave from Qing Zhuo's massive wings blasts all the way up into the sky. Feeling the sudden gust, she immediately senses danger. Sure enough, the next second, the MC slips off her bird and plummets downward, screaming for help. Right at that critical moment, Zhu Minglang spots her and quickly calls out to Qing Zhuo. Instantly, a massive branch sprouts up. Zhu Minglang leaps right onto it, sprinting along the giant branch to reach the falling girl. Leaping forward at the last second, he catches her perfectly in his arms. The MC blushes as she softly thanks him. Zhu Minglang casually tells her it is nothing. While down below, Gu Feijun is being chased so hard by the trees that he can barely run. Panting in rage, Gu Feijun screams out for Zhu Minglang to fight him one-on-one, cursing him for hitting on girls in the middle of a battle. Up on the spectator stand, a solitary figure leans against the railing, closely watching the chaotic match unfold below. Gu Sha crosses his arms in disgust, muttering that Gu Feijun is a disgrace to their sect. Right behind him, Zhu Tiangguan rests his chin on his hand, feigning a deep sigh. Zhu Tiangguan tells him that for a long time, he genuinely believed their clan and the forest sect got along quite well, wondering who could have ever predicted today. Just look at how his gaze suddenly turns incredibly cold and dangerous. He points out that his son's actions today have completely ruined all the years of effort Gu Sha spent bowing and scraping to him. Hearing those words, Gu Xia quickly clasps his hands and bows, desperately arguing that this matter really has nothing to do with him. He claims his son, Gu Feijun, likely got involved with some royal nobles of the court and was simply acting under their orders. Zhu Tiangguan sighs in agreement, saying that even with 100 times more courage, that useless boy would never dare offend Zhu Minglang like that. He continues, saying he knows who ordered his son, pointing to the Huang Xiaobang faction. He calls them a bunch of useless cowards led by Zhao Xi and Zhao Yung. Overhearing this, Madame Zhao immediately flares up in anger, asking who he is calling useless. Zhu Tiangguan, do you not see this lady sitting right here? Yet, completely ignoring her, he just picks his nose with utter disdain. Lady Zhao Qin, your sitting here makes no difference. Your sons are all a bunch of good-for-nothings. There is really nothing left to argue about. Unable to fight back, Lady Zhao Qin faints from rage, forcing a nearby sect master to step in. Calm down, Lady Zhao Qin, please wake up. Turning around, he immediately starts lecturing Zhu Tiangguan. What is your true motive for insulting the royal family publicly, Zhu Tiangguan? Unbothered, he simply sips his tea, stating that while the royal family has people he respects, Lady Zhao Qin is just waking up only to die of anger again. The old man checks on her, asking if Lady Zhao Qin is all right because she gave him quite a scare. But Zhu Tiangguan keeps mockingly adding that there are also useless trash. His face darkening, he slams his teacup down, calling out certain arrogant women who abuse their power. Furious, Lady Zhao Qin points at him, demanding to know who he is calling a power-abusing woman. Right after, she faints again, leaving the old man to sigh, asking if Lady Zhao Qin has passed out once more. Zhu Minglang leaps over the forest's massive roots, leaving sharp gusts of wind in his wake. Standing atop a giant root, he shouts, telling them he has finally come down to satisfy their wish. Feijun laughs mockingly, surprised that the supposedly tough guy came down so easily. Feijun releases a burst of blue energy to strike, prompting Huang Dong to scream a warning to watch out. Zhu Minglang narrows his eyes to focus, calmly asking how on earth his opponent expects to attack while leaving his own back completely wide open. You won't believe how fast this turns around with a smirk. Zhu Minglang sighs as giant roots wrap tightly around Fei Jun. Fei Jun screams to be let go while Huang Dong, watching from atop his bird, praises Zhu Minglang's incredible skill. Zhu Minglang looks on, amazed by how much Qing Zhuo has grown, now capable of fighting in midair, and even controlling vegetation, making it a master of nature. Even while tightly bound, the furious Fei Jun snarls, demanding to know what skill there is in relying on a dragon beast to launch a cheap sneak attack. Release me and fight head-on. Zhu Minglang scoffs mockingly, pointing out that as a dragon master, it makes absolutely no sense for him to fight hand-to-hand without his dragon. Has the brain of everyone in your Huang Youth faction shriveled up? Furious, Fei Jun roars back, calling Zhu Minglang the actual member of that faction. He yells that he just hates arrogant pests like Zhu Minglang, especially when tournament battles are decided by fate. Just because someone accidentally hurt your younger brother, you spread rumors at the memorial hall claiming it was intentional. Do you even respect the laws of the royal court? Zhu Minglang calmly replies, realizing that the guy was simply used as a brainless pawn. With a brain like yours, you should probably leave the Qi sect before you lower their overall standards. Fei Jun snaps back, denying he was used. He brags about being a once-in-a-century genius of the Qi sect, completely unaware of another figure stealthily creeping up behind them. Suddenly, the assailant lunges with his sword, screaming for Zhu Minglang to die. But the young man unleashes his Feather Tempest technique. Zhu Minglang casually swings his arm, launching a devastating blade-like wave of green light that tears cleanly through the air and forces his opponent backward. The attacker screams as he is blown away, spinning helplessly through the air. Qing Zhuo roars loudly as the green-clothed attacker crashes down, knocked completely unconscious. The dragon roars with bared, razor-sharp fangs, causing the ground beneath them to tremble violently. Zhu Minglang coldly turns away on the bloody route. Terrified by his severe wounds, she mutters that the soul backlash is taking effect. Panicked and desperate to escape, she realizes she completely underestimated how terrifyingly powerful Zhu Minglang actually is. She knows she must flee this godforsaken forest immediately. Meanwhile, Zhu Minglang steps up to the tree trunk, stomping down to unleash his spiritual power and take control. Suddenly, thick branches bind her tightly and fling her into the air as she screams for help. Qing Zhuo streaks into the sky in a flash of green light, scattering leaves everywhere as Huang Dong gasps, wondering if the sacred dragon is going on a rampage. Now, look at this guy's pure rage. Zhao Yuanga is absolutely furious, clenching his fists tightly in his room. He angrily mutters, asking why Zhu Minglang is still so hard to handle after losing his sword cultivation. Suddenly, a voice echoes back, asking if he is unsatisfied. Zhu Minglang appears riding atop Qing Zhuo, declaring that a nobody like Hao Xiaotong can never pay for his brother's life. He issues a cold warning to the young prince. He tells him he better pray he is not involved, or else Zhu Minglang will not hesitate to break his prosthetic limb. The crowd gasps in shock, while Zhao Yuange screams Zhu Minglang's name in pure rage. Gossiping about the prince's secret limb, the crowd wonders if Zhu Minglang is the royal court's genius sword cultivator. They whisper that after leaving the mountain, he surpassed all ordinary disciples, while Zhao Yuange can only sit there, trembling in silent contemplation. The whispers in the crowd keep going. Indeed, rumor says a commander-class dragon master once tried to teach Zhu Minglang a lesson for his disciples' sake, only to get completely beaten instead. Back then, Zhu Minglang was only 16. Rumor has it he cut off the crown prince's limbs and got kicked out of the imperial court. Looks like those stories were actually true. Zhao Ying scowls, clenching his jaw as a drop of sweat rolls down his cheek from pure, bottled-up rage. He snaps at him, Zhu Minglang, your cultivation is completely ruined, so know your place. But the kid just shoots back, so, does my little brother Zhu Tong's death have something to do with you? Zhao Ying retorts your brother Zhu Tong's death during the tournament was nothing more than a complete accident. Has your Zhu sect really gotten so arrogant that when a single relative dies, you try to blame the entire world? Zhu Minglang looks him dead in the eye and spits despicable. Zhao Ying sneers back through his teeth. Zhu Minglang. Zhao Ying storms toward him, warning him not to push his luck. But Zhu Minglang does not flinch, shouting back a life for a life is the natural order of things. You people from the Zhao family better treasure whatever little time you have left. Deep inside the imperial court's grand hall, a voice echoes since the Zhu sect proposed adding a wager to this competition. Wait, watch this. The third round will be held inside the Machine City, placing a list of each faction's resources inside the machinery for the competitors to seize. A voice resounds through the main hall that is indeed a brilliant plan. The Emperor is truly wise. The Emperor then asks the Rui State's Prime Minister how their invasion of the Lichuan continent is currently progressing. Bowing respectfully, the Prime Minister reports that the Emperor might not know this. East of the canyon sits a sovereign nation ruled by a powerful mortal god named Li Yunzi. This fierce young woman is a brilliant strategist with an army of 300,000 men. Gu Xia chimes in, if we cannot conquer them by force, have we not tried to make them surrender? The ministers immediately start whispering. Exactly. Whether we conquer or recruit them, it is all for Lichuan's vast resources. At the end of the day, there is absolutely no difference. True. If the Rui state manages to conquer the Lichuan continent, they will control 90% of it. What would even be the point of us competing then? The other officials nod in agreement. After all, the Rui state is also participating in this tournament. If the winner of this match gains control of that land, it is basically the same as conquering Lichuan. Offering a surrender is the smartest move. The emperor decrees minister of the Rui state. I will grant you 1 more month. If you cannot seize complete control, then convince their ruler to surrender. He bows deeply in agreement. The elder whispers, Sect Master Zhu, I spoke exactly as you wished. From now on, our Qi sect will rely on your Zhu sect. Meanwhile, Zhu Minglang asks in shock, Heya, did your wounds heal this quickly? Xiao Tong beams happily, a slice of watermelon still in his hand, shouting, young master, you are finally back. Zhu Minglang asks, how did my big black dragon recover so fast? Did you already apply the medicine to him? Stuffing his face, the boy mumbles, the young madam told me to rest, so I just went inside for a nap. You won't believe his reaction here. When the boy woke up to apply the medicine, Heya was already fully healed. Zhu Minglang blinks, wait, where did this wife come from? The boy shrugs, it is that lady wearing the veil. Everyone calls her the young madam. Young master, did you lose your memories like some forgetful old scholar too? Zhu Minglang sputters in panic, that is absolute nonsense. She is a mortal god in my dragon taming squad, not some young madam. The boy just nods, okay, master, but this melon is seriously sweet. Do you want some? But Zhu Minglang ignores him, thinking he should just wake Heya up and ask the dragon directly. Zhu Minglang quickly yells, Heya, wake up. The dragon stirs, letting out a low growl. The youth asks, how on earth did your injuries heal so fast? The beast realizes it is actually fully healed, happily bouncing around and wagging its tail, sending rocks and sparks flying everywhere. Zhu Minglang's face instantly darkens. He slaps his forehead, yelling out, Heya, get your scaly butt back here right now. I was nice enough to let you out for some fresh air, and you completely wreck my entire courtyard? Instead of listening, Heya just keeps charging around. Zhu Minglang sighs, cleaning up the absolute mess while muttering that every single one of his dragons is a troublemaker. A few days ago, Qingzuo destroyed a whole room, and now Heya went and knocked down the courtyard wall. Looks like he needs to find a much bigger mansion pretty soon. Bowing respectfully, Zhu Minglang thanks Lingsha for healing Heya, admitting he did not expect her to possess such a rare healing dragon. She pauses, putting down her calligraphy brush. She asks, how did you know I have a dragon? He scratches his neck, chuckling, well, I am a dragon tamer after all, so I can naturally sense their aura. Zhu Minglang continues, by the way, the 3rd round starts in just a few days. The Machine City is incredibly dangerous this time. If I can get to know more about your true strength, Lingsha, our chances of winning will be much higher. Surprised, she repeats, get to know more? Flustered, he waves his hands. No, that is not what I meant. Please do not misunderstand. Lingsha turns around, asking, then tell me, what exactly am I misunderstanding? Zhu Minglang quickly coughs, nothing. Actually, I came here because I have some news. He continues, the Emperor has officially issued a command. If the Rui state fails to seize absolute dominance over the Zulong city-state within a single month, the Imperial Court will officially allow Lichuan to unify all 4 city-states and forge a powerful new country, finally becoming a prominent part of the Peak continent. She speaks up, within a month, huh? Zhu Minglang spoke with absolute certainty. I believe Li Yunzi can definitely stop the Rui state. Meanwhile, night falls over the Lichuan battlefield, where countless lit tents and war banners fill the massive army camp. Inside the Zulong army command tent, the lights burn bright as their red banner flutters against the dark night sky. Shuang'er sighs. Bandages changed. You are good to go. You must rest, General, and avoid any more fighting so your wounds can heal properly. But Li Yunzi just sighs. How can anyone go to war without fighting? Suddenly, a scout bursts in. Bad news. The Peak Continent army has launched a massive, sudden surprise attack. Silence falls. Both girls think fast. Suddenly, Li Yunzi stands up, ordering everyone to prepare for a brutal battle. Young says worriedly, General, you should just stay back and command the troops. Please do not charge into the front lines yourself. The enemy general rides in on a roaring beast. His troops scream to kill. Li Yunzi steps forward, shouting, protect our home. Immediately, every single soldier echoes her cry. She spins around, swinging her sword to block a massive fiery blast as her hair and clothes flutter in the blinding golden light. The enemy general brands his sword, standing tall on his slithering beast as he charges directly at her with a fierce roar. Steel charges forward. Li Yunzi concentrates her inner energy. Her blade erupts in blinding golden fire, cutting through the night. A massive blue lightning dragon clashes violently with her fiery sword. sending 2 columns of blinding light exploding into the sky. She grips her burning hilt tight, spinning around to deliver a devastating horizontal strike with her red cape trailing behind. The enemy commander surges forward on his beast to block her, their weapons grinding together in a shower of blinding sparks and raw energy.